believe we should be live for the first time after a while, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess welcome VOD Squad and Precogs, as it were. I guess we'll wait for people to filter in before I start telling my con tales. I don't see it live on YouTube.
Yeah, it's black over here. I don't know why. It says excellent connection. Ah, there it is. There's always a little bit of randomness, I suppose, to doing the live.
Is it working on YouTube now?
It should be.
Yeah, there it is. This is the second time we played?
Yeah, we tried it before and the audio's all fucked up and I was like, boo, this sucks, I have to figure out how to fix this. And then everyone online was like, you're fucked, you just have to keep on, it's just completely random whether or not it works. Just keep on installing and uninstalling it.
Amazing.
Yeah, all these ports suck ass, as it turns out. The official Steam release, and it's just terrible.
Okay.
You know, of all the games they remake out there, I'm surprised they never remade the Sonic Adventure games. They would be so popular.
Well, sometimes they don't remake games just because it's like an investment. They're waiting for it to increase in value. They're waiting for the demand to get higher and higher. And then they can tell their shareholders, oh, if you invest, don't worry. It's still good because we could still release Sonic Adventure 2 again. This is money in the bank.
Of course.
Don't worry, our company, even if the next game is bad, we can always do that.
Got it locked in.
Hey, it's Gabe.
Hey, what's up, Gabe? We're just setting things up, and then we should begin. Good to play more Sonic Adventure 2. It's topical because the Sonic 3 movie released its trailer showing how edgy the movie Shadow is gonna be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I found it quite amusing. Do you know who he's voiced by in the movie?
I don't know if I could come up with after the Mario movie where you have all these retarded choices for voices. Even if I made a joke, I don't think it would it would even match up to the retardedness of Jack Black being Bowser and whatever.
No, Jack Black made sense as Bowser because he does cartoon voices.
All right. Sure, but then it's Chris Pratt.
I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with Chris Pratt, but
whatever the Jewish guy who's always
Seth Rogen.
He's always a screeching retard online.
He's terrible at doing any voices. I think he blatantly said that he doesn't want to do any cartoon voices. He just does his voice. And it's well, you shouldn't be a voice actor then, but okay.
Yeah. So let me think. It would be someone super. I think the funniest and most retarded thing would be Keanu Reeves, because he did John Wick and whatever. So if he was Shadow, that would be the funniest thing. And then after Keanu Reeves, no, I think I did hear that it was actually Keanu Reeves. Didn't
It's Keanu Reeves, yeah.
All right, well, that's absolutely retarded.
Keanu Reeves is playing Shadow the Hedgehog.
Okay. That's kind of a good choice, but it's also that's.
No, his voice does actually kind of fit him.
Yeah.
I gotta say, because he knows how to do the edgy voice already. So.
I'm thinking
It is also. It is also the funny choice to do it. So.
I think
it made me laugh.
The only thing good about Age of Ultron was the second Avengers movie. Was the voice of Ultron. That voice guy is so scary sounding.
Oh yeah, he is. It's a shame I didn't like the movie at all, but
yeah, the movie is terrible.
He did a good job doing that voice.
I don't think you could do a worse job depicting Quicksilver than what they did for Quicksilver.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Do you want the laptop in your lap, or?
No.
Or yeah, you're just gonna go off of.
I have these TVs
Okay.
of chat.
All right, let's play some Sonic, huh?
Yeah.
Ball select. Warning. All right.
So terrifying as a kid.
Story select.
Oh, have I played the...
Just blew up half the moon. That's canon. Half the moon is blown up in the Sonic universe. It just turned the other way, so that's why it always looks full. Hey, pharmacist, what's up?
Hey.
We're playing a classic.
You know what's funny? Does anyone know what the lore is for Dragon Ball Z with the moon? What happened with that? Because Piccolo blows up the moon, right? It's like, because the moon causes that, like, monkey werewolf transformation. And then he's like, I know what I'll do. Since he's so strong, I can't beat him. I'll just blow up the moon. And, but there's a moon, right?
Man, I am
So
super not used to.
that guy might have just forgotten.
I'm sure you did.
I think there was a...
Isn't there a way for me to glide? I'm trying to figure out, because I haven't played in a while.
I think there was like one of those choco, it's chow. Chow? Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a chow on the ground there. I don't know if you can you pick those up or something?
I guess I can ring dash in this game. I don't even remember how to do it, but I guess I can do that.
It was such a weird command in the new game. Is it always like something bizarre?
I haven't played this in so long, and
Triggers.
Unfortunately, yeah.
That's always the secret as a kid, is like, oh, the triggers do something crazy.
I could have sworn there was a way to glide, but like I hold down on the button and it doesn't do anything.
Try red bumper? Did that do something or no?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't do anything. You also gotta think like old controller buttons.
Yeah, this is GameCube though, right? GameCube had triggers and one bumper on the right side, so it was Z, right? It was R, L, and Z.
I need to figure out how to glide, otherwise I'm not going to be able to...
Hey, Jordan.
Otherwise I'm not going to be able to, like, do the level. Just straight up, you have to be able to glide.
Help, how to... Oh, ho, ho. They suggest moving the character with the D-pad. Are they psychopath? What controller is this? Is this what the Dreamcast looked like? What the fuck is this?
It doesn't say glide anywhere.
Does anyone know what that...
I'm really confused. Nope, that's not actually what I wanted. It was in the game. There we go.
Hey, Jordan. Hey, pharmacist. And hey, chest high wall. Singular wall.
Yep. Alright, well, this isn't gonna work. So, somebody's gonna need to look it up.
Here, let me see.
There is no double jump.
Let me see. I am a master of Sonic the Hedgehog. I'll have you know.
If you can at least figure out how to do the wing dash thing. Yeah, usually pressing the jump button twice lets you glide, but that's not the case. It's not working. I thought that's what it was when I last played this game, but it's not doing anything. So maybe there is no glide? It's an upgrade you get in this level. So do I have to do the ring dash then to get across? Because if so, then I need to remember which button does the ring dash. And it doesn't say on the controller, so...
Switch
it
action
says
window.
action.
Switch action. Oh, okay.
Tails can't do
Action,
ring
action,
dash?
jump.
Well, it depends what game, right?
Well, I figured out how to whistle. Does that have a purpose?
There's a place you turn left and find the upgrade. Okay, give me.
If you hold on Y and then press B, you will whistle. I don't know why that is an option, but I have found this. It's very exciting. Anyway, great to be back. Great to have you guys back. Welcome back, everyone. You can call animals out of pipes with the whistle. Interesting.
There we go. I might have gotten it last time and then just forgot, or it didn't save or something. But, alright. Okay, well, fuck you two then. It definitely landed on that platform.
Yeah, it just like clipped you off the side. What is that now that shows up at the bottom? Is that like the stuff you've collected? It's a pretty difficult elevator for like mission 1.
It's not mission 1.
Oh, okay.
I played a little bit last time. I'm just having trouble like remembering how to do stuff.
Gotcha. So anyway, BasedCon was cool, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, we made friends.
Yeah, it was neat. High recommend. It was like 200 something, but now that was including all the food and stuff. Like he had the food included, and now they're doing a separate one with a separate price without food included, and that's $99. So.
Excuse me? Oh, I have to talk to them first so that I can change the camera and see them missing. Old school style games.
Huh. Yeah, so yeah, BasedCon was cool. Essentially, the concept being a convention for like sci-fi fantasy that doesn't have any woke stuff.
Ah, I was tricked.
It was cool. It's hard to describe. It was very like relaxing being around sane people.
Is it like even possible to like not get hit?
Yeah, like everyone at the con just kind of was nice and like I don't know. It was easy to like be open about wanting to live a good life and like have people kind of be happy about it. Like Like, if I say I want to have a bunch of kids and homeschool them and, like, live by the mountains, I think, like, not like everybody in my family, but there's a couple, like, family members I have that would be like if I say I want to homeschool, like I said I wanted to homeschool, and my cousin had this, like, outburst where she was like, no! I was like, oh.
Alright, now what?
Whereas, like, people there were, like, pretty excited about it and giving advice and stuff.
Whoa. Camera's a little bit finicky. It's hard to look around and figure out what the heck they want me to do. It's not gonna let me jump onto this bridge, it looks like. Because this thing is underneath. But, like, that's the only way to progress forward, so... I don't even know.
Can you just jump over on the ramp on the right side?
No. This is very complicated for something that's supposed to be a very simple game.
I see. It does look like the ceiling is too close, though.
Certainly felt like it. Yeah, thanks for that.
Joining the Discord? Are you not already in the Discord, Gabe? I hadn't noticed. Oh, but we'd be glad to have you. Oh, you can hold the... Jordan says you can hold the fire button to lock onto multiple targets at once.
I know, but then it makes a very long beep sound, and I thought that it would be annoying to you.
Oh, that's okay. To me, I can survive beeps. Wow. That's, I mean, I'm fine, but I could see that... I could see that being annoying.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chow.
Got him.
Did that work?
No. Okay.
What's your bounty? Is that $1 million?
Yep. $1 gajillion. Man, I am not going very fast, I gotta say. But then again, I'm not Sonic, so it's alright. Got it. It's so hard to turn with this neck. It's so awkward feeling.
Meanwhile, how's Concord and Dustborn doing? I don't know anything about these games other than that they were like total colossal failures.
They were government funded.
Really?
That's what I heard.
I know Concord had like a shit ton of diversity in it. And it was like a multi-billion-dollar project. They were investing like years and years of development, intending on it being like some big live service thing that like...
Yeah, and it is completely shut down, complete failure, deserved failure.
Yeah. And people like to pretend like it's random what is successful. It's not really. It's just like you have to do a good job and try really hard to have it be good.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you, Jordan. Gamma actually did control a lot better in Adventure 1. This doesn't, you know, these controls, they aren't as tight.
Conquer did so bad that Sony ended service for that game 2 weeks after launch. There's one person that 100%ed it, like a single person, and they're posting their... They hated the game, but they just like did it for fun, like just to be the only person that got the achievement. There's all these people joking about like how much that console would be worth. But yeah, it had an average player base over those 2 weeks of 73 people. So more people worked on the game than like played it. Rough stuff.
There we go.
Ooh, is that a spooky ghost?
That was a spooky ghost.
It's a haunted mine. Fascinating. I don't know if I'd be so scared if I was Knuckles, though.
Yeah, Knuckles moves so fast, it's nuts.
Dustborn never broke 100 for their top peak. What even is Dustborn? Incredibly gay, I'm assuming?
It's another game that failed recently.
In the words of Buzz Lightyear, years of academy training wasted. Hi, Andy Conderas. Is that a ghost of a chow? Or is that an evil chow?
Gimme.
Hold on. Why? Wait, okay, jump? Yeah, if you attack in the air?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm digging for emerald shards.
Oh, okay. Neat. Anyway, yeah.
Not getting any beeps though, so I don't know.
What else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, a bunch of people were like warning me that Ohio was like boring to drive through. It was gorgeous.
It was actually really nice.
Ohio is super engaging to drive through. Everything is... It's like if New Jersey was like a utopian wonderland. Like, because New Jersey is very hilly. In comparison, it's like mountainous compared to like Ohio. I guess New Jersey does have a lot of like mountains. You just don't think about it because we dynamited through the mountains so you could drive through them. But yeah, there's it's like I guess New Jersey is pretty mountainous. I think like funnily enough, I found like the easiest way to notice if someone's like a unbearable contrarian is if they argue that New Jersey isn't mountainous. Not like someone who lives in New Jersey arguing that New Jersey isn't mountainous, but like people who have never been to like if I say it's New Jersey is mountainous to someone who's never been to New Jersey or like doesn't live there or anything, and then they start arguing it's not. It's like Because there's something about it that sounds, it's kind of like surprising that New Jersey has mountains. Because there's lots of people, I guess it's confusing. But once you go to other states, it really is kind of striking how, like, the terrain differences. I know in college, my university had lots of hills on it, and a lot of people from flatter states like California or something. Well, I guess not. Like, maybe it's just because they were leftists, but there were a lot of people that were losing their breath while walking around the very slight hills of the campus. It could just be because they're, like, just physically inept as a people, not because of the hills. I don't know. Maybe walking around is, like, hard for people. I feel like if you get out of breath walking, though, you're so fucked. Like, that's such a big problem. Because, like, what are you going to do? If you have to get across the room, are you going to just, like, have to take breaks to, like, go from one part of your house to the other? Like, you have a sandwich in the fridge, and, like, it's some, like, athletic feat to get the sandwich. It sounds like a fucking problem. Please read for your own sake. I do read. I was reading some shitty manhwas just yesterday. I'll probably read more tonight. There's, like, one that's decent.
Just one.
Yeah, I think it's, like, decent, but, like, there's this sort of, like, societal and, like, money insecurity in Korea. And whenever it comes out in writing, it's always, like, super painful. Because it's just, like, some guy airing his issues with, like, not being rich or not being high society. Like, you know, the setting is pretty strong. Everything is, like, very gritty and hard and whatever. And, like, he mentions earlier on that people that have already kind of established themselves in the world are much harder to deal with. But then he deals with, like, he runs into these, like, knights at this, like, party thing, and they're all, like, super weak and shitty. And, it doesn't really make any sense, because, like, if they've been, like a knight that is inept, it just doesn't, like, it doesn't really make any sense. It's kind of like this, like, massive copium that, like, if you had all the resources in the world and all the social pressure to succeed, that you would be bad at something is, like, ridiculous. You know, like, what does a knight do when they wake up? This is vital info, in all caps. Okay. There's an air necklace that lets you breathe underwater.
Ah. So, where is that?
The Dustborn, lots of... Dustborn is, like, some kind of weird, like, masochistic fantasy of leftists after the 2016 election. That's... Yeah. Quick, before it's too late.
Tunnel going down on the top floor? I don't know, man.
Oh, the game is actually funded by the U.S. and Norway governments. That's so fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the weirdest part about that whole thing, honestly.
I don't like walking long distances, but I was also in 4 car accidents at age 19. In 1 year? Jesus. How bad are the drivers wherever you live?
Ah, yes, where it says danger. Okay.
Not here. Jesus Christ. God damn. After the first car accident, you should have gotten like a real good crash safety rating. Something like a Subaru or something. Hey, it's David Myers. As soon as we were like on the road, my first you know how you have those thoughts when you're driving is like, did we forget anything? My first thought was like, we should have brought the orb and like done the drawing challenge in like an Airbnb. I want to do the orb challenge. I want to do the orb challenge, and then I want to somehow like do another one of those videos where, or streams or something where you like challenge other artists to like handicap themselves. That's a spooky looking ghost.
Hey, well, what do you want me to do? I don't see anything here. I don't see any upgrades. God, it's so hot in this room.
Do you want me to get the fan, like fan you?
I'm just like wondering, did your parents like turn off the AC or something?
I'll go check. Ah, it's possible.
It was cold outside for a little bit, right? But it's not anymore. It's hot again, so. This is the wrong place. I remembered wrong. Well, I don't know, man. Yes, Gabe, I know that I'm supposed to dig when the indicator is red. But Jordan wanted me to do something first. So I'm trying to fulfill...
It was up at like 72. So I put it down to 69. Nice.
Nice.
I was only driving for one of them, and someone ran a red light and T-boned me. God damn. I have a friend that was in like a bunch of like crazy car accidents. He saw an ambulance of all things run a red, hit someone, and then their car like spun, just barely missed his car, and then hit a pole, and then the pole slowly tipped over, and he's like, ah, fuck, and it just like dong on the hood of his car and made this big dent on the hood. And the car was such a it was such a piece of junk that was enough to like total it. The insurance company was like, not worth ironing out the dent. Like that is totaled. The cost of ironing out the dent is worth more than the car. So he gave him money to buy a new car. There was nothing like wrong inside. They were just like, no, that's done. It was a Ford Explorer, or as a friend of mine's dad, who's a mechanic, calls them, a Ford Exploder. He would, people would say what kind of car they had, and then he'd be like, oh, Ford Exploder, and they're like, oh no, Ford Explorer, and he's like, yeah, but it exploded on you, right? And they're like, yeah.
Alright, is this it?
Must be.
Okay, well, I guess it's just gonna float back to the top.
So enough about gaming flops. Rather talk about good games that were worth the purchase, like Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. You know, I'm loving Crusader Kings 3. It's a little
Where's
squishy.
the damn upgrade? Where is it? It won't let me move the fucking camera. It's so obnoxious. Ah. Oh, is that it?
Must be.
Nope.
Oh.
It's literally just a bunch of random rings. Alright, well. Make it to the end of the tunnel before drowning. There was an end? I thought I was just supposed to pick it up and go back. Ugh. Alright, where was that thing? Man, they have like the things, I guess, reversed controls for the, turning the camera around, and it is driving me up a wall.
I had a thought on it as well. Just do a quick video showing what you're dealing with, then play Garlic Phone or some other such game together. It's Garlic Phone. My brother calls them exploders because I have one. He had one too when he said it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I've been loving. I've been playing a ton of Crusader Kings 3 with the Elder Scrolls mod. And
It's so hard to jump off a cliff these days. Alright, where was that? Because I don't... It's over here. What?
Nothing. Yeah, that dude, it's just like same brother that got pegged. So I usually try to tell happy stories, but a sad story that's really fascinating popped into my head, and I think you guys would probably find it really interesting because I found it fascinating. And this was told to me by someone who was in the story, right? You know, we should try to do a barbecue for the equinox, because that's cool too.
Cool story.
Try to get people together, like my family, for a barbecue. I'm gonna try to get some wheels in motion for that. I'm also gonna look for some fairs for the fall, because fall fairs are always like good. I got someone at the con motivated to go to fairs because he was selling 3D printed stuff, and I was like, dude, just sign up for one. You know, you'll do fine. Anything under $50 is like fine. Most of them are like $20.
Controls are really fucking with me. I don't know why that used to be such a thing. Just like reversing direction. Is that it over there, or is that the one I just came from?
Yeah, and he saw one for like $50, and he was like, "Oh, it's like kind of high. I don't know if I'll make the table back." And I was like, "No, just do it. That's standard now because of like Biden inflation or whatever."
That's the one I just came from.
So, anyway, oh my god. Best part about it is we only know it happened because he bullies other guys if women are around. So he's bullying this guy, and the guy says...
looking down with the camera. Jeez.
Oh yeah, there's no joystick camera control. It's just those triggers.
No, it's just...
Can you
left and
drill?
right.
Does that like make the camera turn down?
I don't think so.
It's like how you look down is you have to like do some kind of like acrobatic.
I'm trying to like
maneuver.
see where it is, and
Yeah.
in theory you would be able to see from up top, but I
Yeah.
can't look down at the camera, so it's just like useless. Ugh. Didn't ask you.
Hey, it's Joseph Choi feeding baby goats. Nice. Glad you had a nice trip. Thank you. Dreamcast didn't have a second stick. That's why I thought in the picture it had 2 sticks. It had a D-pad and then 2 sticks. Or are those like 3 D-pads? Is that why the console failed? Or 2 D-pads? It's wild. So yeah, no, the con was cool. I have a melancholic story I want to share, and I think you guys will find it fascinating.
I cannot find where this thing was.
Some sick moonwalking though.
I thought it was like within eyeshot of where this was, but I don't see it anywhere. But then again, it's hard to like just see in general in this game. Is that it there? They changed the picture?
The picture is not an Xbox 360 controller.
Oh, you're talking about the controller.
Yeah, it's definitely not an Xbox controller. It's some weird thing.
It's close enough. I don't know.
Oh, hey, JB. You passed it a bit ago. Bottom level has it go back down.
I am at the bottom level.
Okay.
Oh, past this stuff? No. No, this isn't right. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with... All of the characters' movements in this game are so fucked up.
Yeah, I never appreciated Mario 64 until I played like other platformers, and I was like, oh, I see why that was so popular. Because you could like really control the shit out of Mario. I wanted like more stuff though. When I was playing it, I wanted like machine guns and laser swords and, you know, like something besides just like the big fist wahoo punch. You need to lower the water level? Well, thank you guys for your assistance.
This is just the one that I keep on going down the same one because they look exactly the same, but one of them is the right one and one of them is wrong.
Right.
I don't see the other one. I just don't see it anywhere on the screen. I thought that was it at first, but I can't go down that one. Are you saying that there's another water level switch other than the 2 that I've already found?
A 3 switch is at the top room.
So I don't have to go down, I have to go up so that I can go down again.
Yeah, I think so. So, anyway, driving through Ohio, a lot of people have said that it's just corn. They're completely wrong. There's all sorts of crops in Ohio. It's just that people only know what corn looks like. People don't know what like the other random crops are. Because they're like, you know, like corn looks distinctive even if there's no corn like on the top. But like, nobody knows, like I don't know what the other random plants are. Like I could maybe recognize a raspberry bush. I don't know. But like I don't know what the hell was like growing all over the place. Or like maybe potatoes I might know, maybe. Or like tomatoes for sure, right? It looks like, you know, Italiano. Everyone's growing tomatoes in their backyard for their fresh tomatoes, you know. But I saw goats. You know, speaking of Joseph Choi, you know, feeding baby goats. And I was looking at the goats and I was like, they're kind of cute. They'd be kind of fun to like have around. But then I remember someone telling me that the reason that billy goats have those like beards is because they pee on them to attract mates. I say, stroking my beard, which I have not peed in to attract Trisha.
No. Oh, is it just not gonna let me go up there?
Soybeans. Yeah. Soybeans are very attractive because there's like a lot of money in soy right now, unfortunately.
but like you see some people like plant just soybeans on their whole field, and then they have like a blight, and like the whole field goes to waste, and then it catches to their neighbor's field of only soybeans, and then that just is all destroyed. So they just have to like, tighten their. They just have to like, starve for a year, just like live on savings or go into debt or whatever.
Why did they
it's like so stupid.
make the water changing thing even part of this? If they want you to do something very specific like that. Right, where are the stupid switches that I can switch it again and again and again?
It became big dollar crop. Yeah, there's a lot of like soy replacements for things, like especially like vegan stuff, but then also protein supplements. There's it's a pretty cheap, comparatively, way of like getting protein powder together. But like you can only have so much soy protein before you start to have like fucking titties and lactate. So I don't know that like soy is like the greatest crop there ever was. There was a couple like printing places in the US that were using soy ink. Like that was like in their About Us page. And I was like, they were bragging about it like, oh, it's so like environmentally friendly or whatever. And it's like, bro, I can't print my book in soy. What are you talking about?
It's also not environmentally friendly.
Yeah, because monocropping is like a terrible idea. Can you? Yeah, okay.
I had to switch the water level for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why.
So there's some switch on, this is the, oh.
And then I have to switch this, and then I have to go back down there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
To switch, to go down the right one, which is not the wrong one. Got it? I'm tired. And hot. Where's the other one?
Billy goats will pee in their mouths, then lift their lips to the sky.
There,
Ew.
this one. This one's the right one.
Oh my god.
That's the grossest fucking animal.
Now I have to die. I mean dive.
Aha, I see what you did there. Now in Mario, picking up like coins gives you air, but I guess that's not.
What the heck?
Just go up to the top. There should be
trying.
air. Can you? Is there an ascend button?
No. Not that I know of. Not that I know of. There is no ascend button.
Okay.
Now I have to do all of that again. I have to go press all the switches again just to go back down there and die. Is this what we're doing, Jordan?
Farmers do not starve, they'll eat plenty of things you didn't know were edible. Good point. The only soy product I use is fermented soybean paste for cooking. And soy sauce. Okay. Yeah. Get Trisha to check the DCYA title she's been reading. I'm sure there's some soy used. Yeah, some soy ink. Like, but also, if it's environmentally friendly, is that because it's going to biodegrade? Like, when people buy my book, it's like, if I'm writing a book, I want that shit to last for like 1,000 years before they have to reprint another book. You know, like I want that to be a lasting legacy. I'm not printing books to be used, thrown out, and then easily biodegrade. Like that's not like a mentality I take with me in my writing. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the video I did about that guy I knew who
No. Go up. They don't make this easy, do they?
more that it's ink from a renewable resource. Okay, I guess that makes sense. But I don't know. I'd rather my book be printed from star metal.
You keep going back down. What is that in reference to? There's a huge delay between, like, messages, so I don't...
I think they're complaining that you didn't get to the air pocket at the top.
Well, you were asking if there was a button to ascend, and there is not. I was checking, and the only button that existed was to descend.
Yeah.
Which is also the only button that you can use to speed up, tragically. So, but I wouldn't have made it to the top anyway. Just because, you know, of how it is.
I could make an attempt if you want to try to get to the bottom. It's a good start.
Where is it? Okay, I'm stuck.
Nice.
Oh. Just teleported me up. Okay, cool. Now I can breathe underwater.
Sick.
Sick. We did it, boys. Now I have to go back down underwater.
Man, that Avengers Academy video is so cringe. I can't imagine being a kid and that's your introduction to some of those characters. It's gotta be rough because, like, the Scholastics Book Fair is like this weird racket with the school where it's like some kind of fundraiser. So they're like,
oh yeah,
trying to make you buy books, and the teachers will like guilt you if you don't buy books in the fundraiser or whatever. And like you're kind of, you don't have to, but you're sort of expected to generate a certain amount of money. So like if you don't buy books, they want your parents to like pay a certain amount of money. You don't have to, right? Because it's like public school and everything, but
okay.
It's
now
weird.
Now we actually look for the emerald shards.
Anyway, I have an interesting yet somewhat melancholic story I'd like to share. And it's like, you know, it's not like, I don't want to wait till the end of the stream and then like leave you on like a melancholic note where you go off and listen to like Boulevard of Broken Dreams after the stream.
Might as well get it over with.
Yeah, okay. So, I had a friend from California. And
oh no.
I know, right? It's already off to a bad start. You know, like handsome guy. He handsome, very weak. He was a model. Very California. How do I describe this guy? He was like some kind of Scandinavian.
Are you talking about the androgynous model?
Yeah, that's the androgynous model, right? He had a couple like he had a couple like funny like photo shoots that people would make fun of.
Oh yeah, he did.
Where he's like wearing a diaper and stuff. But anyway, so that guy, he's girls who are on birth control, right? They like more feminine guys. So he was pretty popular, right? Amongst a certain kind of girl that you really don't want to be popular around. But he was talking to a girl, and he was messing around with a girl, you know, but not sleeping with her.
He's just feeling her out.
Yeah, something like that. Now, she goes off to college, he's a little older, and he's like fucked up his life by being depressed and like having to take a year off or drop out of school or something like that. I don't really remember exactly what it was. I think it was like a medical leave for being depressed. Because if you fail out of classes, you don't have to prove that you're depressed. You can just say that you're depressed. And then it's a medical excuse, medical something.
Sure.
So I think it was something like that. So he was like a little older, and she was like 19 or something like that. He was like 20 something. Like low 20s. So it was like not a crazy age difference, but an age difference. She goes off to college, and there's some hunky Brad or Chad on like a sports team. And this is like every sad relationship story on 4chan. Like all those green tech stories where it's like it has destroyed someone's life, it has like ruined them. It's like the reason they don't trust women, and they're gonna die alone, and they're gonna only date their like body pillow. It's like the thing that will like fuck up a guy the most ever happens where she like sleeps with this guy. She loses her virginity with that guy, and she's crying, and then calls my friend, the California guy. And you'd think that he'd be upset, but he was not upset. And that was the most devastating thing to this girl that had ever happened in her life. And it's fascinating to me because I saw so many people. There's so many people that were like, "Oh, this is how your attitude should be towards sex and relationships and stuff." And then there was actually a guy who like agreed with that. It was like, yeah, you just go sleep with whoever, it's fine. It destroyed this girl. She was in tears calling him because she was upset. She was like, oh, I always thought I thought I would lose my virginity with you. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's not a big deal. And that fucking obliterated her. She could not handle it. It was, people had been telling her for a long time that that's how it was and that's how it should be and that was good. And then she found out right there it was all a fucking lie. And that, I don't really feel sympathy for her though. But like, I can understand people feeling sympathetic, but I just don't. Because she just like whored around and then like felt bad. And if he had hated her, if he had like sworn her off and like been like angry about it, I think it would have been a lot easier for her to deal with. But he's like he's like telling this story about how she's upset and how it's so silly, you know, she shouldn't be upset. And I was like trying to explain to them, like, I think that's the most devastating thing she could possibly hear is that you're not upset about it. Because it...
Yeah, just the idea that that you never cared to begin with.
Not only that, I think it just... it was something, like, her first time, or, like, sex in general, was, like, a special thing to her. But then she cheated. Or, like, I don't know. Because they weren't super... Of course, because, like, a California thing, they never said... It's, like, concrete definition of whether they're, like, in a relationship or not. Starving failed Nazi actor, not a real Nazi, but guy who played one on TV. No, he never. You were talking about like the it's like Sounds of Music or whatever. No. Or, yeah. No, he. I guess he could have. No, he was too blonde for that. He was like platinum blonde, so his hair was like pretty white. You know. Whereas I feel like when you're thinking like when you're getting a guy for like the sound of music, it's like usually like more golden blonde.
Oh, jeez.
What is that?
Don't know. I'm having a rough time trying to figure out how to do this all over again while dealing with these controls.
That story reminds me of the song "Issues" by The Offspring. I figure it would remind someone of some kind of emo song. I used to swear them off when they cheated on me. That was way back when I was in middle school, though. I mean, I think it's just honest. It's just honest and is a sign of having dignity and existing as a human that you care about these things. You have, like, investments in things.
Yeah, it just seems kind of pointless to continue dating someone when you're clearly not on the same page about being committed to one another.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he wasn't doing good by any standard. The fact that he was immune to the heartbreak that would ruin another person is maybe nice, but I don't think that he was doing well being someone who doesn't care about those things.
Of course not. This is the only beep I'm getting, and I can't figure out where the beep is. I'm not getting any beeps. This was so easy the first time, and now I'm not getting any beeps.
But you captured a skunk, so...
I'm so tired. Honestly, before you even said you wanted to stream, I said that I was already just so tired and ready for bed. But I was like, I guess he's right. I guess we have to stream because we haven't streamed in a while.
I'm sorry, I didn't even know you were tired.
I'm just being honest.
But yeah, anyway, that girl was like super destroyed. She was like screaming, crying in the fetal, like she fell on the ground when he said that he didn't care, that it was all like fine, and she was like crying in the fetal position, like she was talking about like killing herself. She's like, I think she dropped out of school. I don't know what happened with her in life, but she drank the feminist Kool-Aid and then couldn't handle it. It wasn't true. All the stuff about like, oh, you should be able to have like casual sex and have it be fine and whatever, wasn't true. And oh, you can dig into walls? That's crazy. That you'd have to find it in a wall? Could it be in the ground there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be here. Okay. Getting treasure in the walls, though. Go down.
I can't even see where I'm digging at this point.
In an enemy, JB says?
I don't see any enemies.
Yeah, unfortunately I grew up with a licentious brother and he would jump at any girl I brought over. Same one that got pegged. He deserves to get pegged, I would say. I think that's like an extremely damning...
I don't know why I was going crazy over there.
That's an extremely damning, like, trait to have. Is to betray other men in your life over random sexual encounters. It speaks to such an intense insecurity and like a and I think it heavily devalues you as a person to be someone who can't be loyal over such an extreme thing. Like, to be a coward who would betray people because you're scared is one thing. But to betray people because you're insecure, that you like need to attach a larger number of sexual encounters to your name to feel like you have value, is just bad. It's real bad. Oh. Yeah. Adam, it's not a sad story, but a happy one. More like a cautionary tale about how you can't let these hoes get to you. Well, I don't think that my that California guy, the model, I don't think he was doing well in life. I don't think being someone who believed that this kind of thing was true about relationships was good. I mean, to be immune to the effects of a whore is certainly good, but I don't think that he wasn't like immune to it being like, she's a piece of shit, they shouldn't let this bother me. He was just like, oh, everyone should just sleep around and not worry about it. And that's exactly what he'd been taught, like, in school growing up in California.
Well, there's no beeps.
Is that everybody should be a goddamn whore. And that girl discovered it was very not true, and it was super devastating. It was like, from her perspective, it was the end of her life as she knew it, and she would have to like begin a new life. Because as far as she could understand, she would never have a happily ever after. All these things that she had deeply, deeply wanted about relationships and falling in love and things, she could never have, because as far as she knew, no one cared about her or ever would. I mean, because the other thing is, right, like, this random California guy didn't care about her. This random sports guy didn't care about her. And the kind of guy that would care about a girl is not going to get invested in a girl who would do something like that. Like, by sleeping around on him. Because, like, don't forget, as pitiful as she is in this story, like, screaming, crying, bemoaning that she can't have true love, she is a whore. So it's, like, kind of, you know, she has precluded herself from the company of someone who would fall in love with her. She's made herself someone that no one should fall in love with. Because from her perspective, it was a real relationship with my friend the model, and she betrayed this real relationship that mattered enough to her that she was crying when she confessed that she had cheated, only to find out that the guy she thought she was cheating on didn't think that it was real, and like laughed at the idea that she would be upset about it. It was like, you know, he was like laughing, oh, don't cry, it's not a big deal, it's nothing. And she like, it's like a case of like wanting your cake and eating it too. Like, she wanted the whole feminism thing, but then she wanted to fall in love, and then she wanted to cheat, but then she wanted to still be in love with the guy that she was cheating on. And some stuff is not morally gray and like complicated like that. It's like very similar. It's very, very simple. Yeah. Sadly, the Emerald randomized locations every time. Yeah.
I know.
Everybody knows a guy that has to be the center of attention when women are around, has nothing going on in his life, so he makes fun of the guys around him to make himself look better. That was my brother. Yeah.
Damn.
I've encountered too many women like her. They are too common now. You know, I guess at like a liberal arts college, I've encountered a couple. I think there's plenty of girls that are sort of like lost, that sort of do what they think
is the right thing.
Yeah.
Based on very bad information, for sure.
People have a lot of stuff in common with each other, and then they also are pretty different in a lot of ways. You find all sorts of like sort of interesting types. The different variations of that story that I've heard are just like sad girls who just like believe the propaganda they're told is sort of tragic. I have 2 videos on my channel though that are much brighter. If anyone's curious, I don't know if I did a great job in the video, but I think like there's one that's like the blue hair something video, and then there's one that's like, I think I called the girl Isabella. Not what her actual name was, obviously, but she had a weird name, so like Isabella makes a lot more sense because she was like Spanish from Spain. Like fits her better. She had some like name I don't even think is a real name. I think her parents like made it up. It was like, I was thinking about the closest thing to it was like Thyr from like Norse mythology, but that would have been very confusing. I was like in my head, I think I used to think that like I used to relate like frost giants with her just because her name was similar, but anyway, those stories. Those stories are funny. There was one detail that I had forgotten to add in the video, which I thought of later, and I didn't know how to. I still don't really know how to articulate why it's so like kind of cute, but there was a girl who was kind of airheaded. I never saw her in person. I only know her from description. Apparently, she was kind of airy, very pretty, had big boobs. Prestigious breasts, as you might say. I heard about her from her roommate frequently. Her roommate was always talking about her in class. And she was like, she said, oh, she has to be careful because she's traditionally attractive. And so that can attract the wrong sorts of guys, right? Which I thought was that's a pretty funny line, right? So, like, attractive. It's like, oh, traditionally attractive.
Right.
And the other thing is she said, and, I'm hearing this from, like, this lens of, like, this crazy, like, blue hair feminist lady, but, she was not, okay, so what, in the video, I had a hard time differentiating the two of them, like saying who they were. I don't know what either of their actual names were, but like let's call like the regular girl, the traditionally attractive girl, we'll call like Traddy. I don't know, the trad girl or whatever. Like she's kind of this, like she was like this airheaded, like whatever. Oh, I guess feminism, whatever. And then this guy comes along and he's like super. He's a fascist. Like when people are like, oh, how do you like identify politically? He says he's a fascist. Like, which is like the most upsetting thing for people at that college, right? They were like, they were like super upset. One of my friends was in a political science class and he mentioned that someone was a fascist or like someone else was a fascist. There were a lot of like Zoomers coming into the school when I was graduating that were like, oh yeah, I'm a fascist, like, which is like the worst thing ever. They were like, oh, like, Trump is a fascist. These people are fascists or whatever. So they're like very upset with that classification. That they find that to be like the worst thing you could possibly be. And then there's people coming into the school that are like just openly like, yeah, I'm a fascist. That guy was one of those guys. The guy in the political science class. There was a teacher, he mentioned that someone was a fascist, and he was like, that's a ticking time bomb! We have to tell the police! And it's like, it's not illegal to say that you're a fascist. Like, You can just be a fascist. It's not like a crime, but like in his world, it's so evil and so like maligned with his values that like it's, you know, like the police would do anything to help him. It's like, oh, sorry, man, they don't vote the same as you. Well, sorry, it's not we don't have a secret police for that. But yeah, no, that guy shows up, and he just kind of like red pills the shit out of this girl. Well, not even like red pills. He's just like, so this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna be a stay-at-home mom, and I'm gonna like impregnate you, and you're gonna have the 6 kids or whatever. And like, I don't know. I never met the girl, so I don't actually know. Like, I don't actually know what her. She mentioned it to her roommate though, and she was like, "Tee, like that's kind of a silly thing to say, right?" But like, ooh, I don't know, maybe that's like fine. And her roommate like is like freaking out, right? Like you have to call the like, you know, she's like, call the FBI, like this is horrible. But it was just like from what I heard, it's just this very alpha, traditional fascist guy who just wants to like knock up his girl and like have a dozen kids and provide for her, and so she doesn't have to work and stuff. He's like, yeah, so I'm gonna get a job, and you're not gonna have to work. You're gonna stay home and just worry about like being happy and like looking nice for me and making the house nice and taking care of the kids. And she's like, tee hee, okay. Like she was like, yeah, sure, that sounds nice. Just, like kind of in the like the same way where she was like, I guess I'll go along with whatever like feminism thing my roommate says. She was like you know, she doesn't like, she's not like politically minded. She's maybe more like airy, kind of, I don't know, ditzy or something. At least according to people, you know. But then the guy shows up and was like, yeah, so that's one political ideology. That's for ugly girls. You're hot though, babe. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna fucking impregnate you, and we're gonna have this beautiful life, and oh yeah, we're gonna live in the country, and we're gonna have this nice house, you know, away from stuff, and we're gonna homeschool our kids too. And like and she's like, tee hee, okay. Like, meanwhile, her roommate is like, nah! Like it's this like giant tragedy. Super curious about that girl. I wonder what she was like, because I only ever heard like the secondhand story about her. Like, oh, she doesn't know. She's like innocent. She doesn't know that she really needs feminism.
This is really bad. I just cannot for the life of me figure out where the heck they put this emerald.
Oh, Jordan beat Sonic Frontiers yesterday.
Sick.
Fascism is the belief the government should be privatized and ran as business. I don't know. Fascism is a little bit complicated, but essentially it runs on the principle that like hierarchy exists, and that is to say some things are better than other things, which is just obviously true. So whereas like the more dominant political philosophy is that bad things are good,
and there's some kind of merit in things that are bad, like, and there's some sort of nobility in helping someone that is like worse, or supporting something that is like worse, or is like obviously ugly, things like that. And I think a lot of it comes from like people like not believing it's possible to improve their looks, or to get into better shape, or be healthier, or succeed more. It like yeah, I don't know. So it's like, I guess, a little complicated, or at least like I'm not like super familiar with like, I don't really get it, right? You don't do a lot of learning what fascism is. You just get learning that like to associate fascism with bad. And I'm not like a political science guy. But yeah. Was he actually a fascist, or did he just call himself that to troll? He was probably an actual fascist, because being fascist isn't anything bad, really. For example, like, if you look at the Speaker of the House in the U.S. Senate or whatever, the podium on the sides has this symbol of fascism on both sides. So, like, at some point in the U.S. history, like, fascism wasn't like this scary word. It wasn't like an accusation of something bad. It was just like.
The way I hear most people use the word nowadays is to describe someone who, like, doesn't want any beliefs expressed except for their own.
Yeah, but that'd be like kind of like a authoritarian.
Yes.
Typically, fascists are authoritarian, but right now we have authoritarian, like, cuckie-tards? I don't know. Like, leftist authoritarian is, like, our current regime, kind of.
Alright, I'm starting to think that it's just not gonna work out here.
So Jordan said that you can kill yourself to reset the location.
Yeah, but then I will also have to do the water level over again.
Does it bounce your, like, the stuff you have equipped?
I assume.
There is a TV in the tunnel. Use the action command by it. Because apparently the TV gives you a hint.
There's a bunch of TVs, but not all of them I can interact with. I've been clicking on all of them, and they've all been woefully unhelpful.
I'm gonna buy a farmhouse and you won't need shoes, lol. The actual feminist and anti-humanity playbook. You know, the whole shoeless thing, it's gotta be a foot thing. You know what I mean? The whole, like, barefoot in the kitchen, it's gotta be a foot thing.
Are you sure?
I don't know. It's just. The feminist anti-humanity playbook. Every man wants you pregnant and shoeless on a farm. Yeah. I think I might actually hate this game now. I used to think it was just okay.
Yeah, this is really grinding me down. Granted, I am already cranky starting like this stream, but this is getting to me. Man,
you can only get
this
3
game has
hints.
a lot of
Pressing
good
start.
lines, though.
Pressing start shows you the hints?
Yeah, they're all useless.
Oh, okay.
I already said that.
The whole kissing babies and pretending to be one of the people is coined by the first fascists.
Alright, well, let's just do that.
So, the pretending to be one of the people is, like, associated with populism. right? Where you, like, do what the people want, I guess. It's like the fan service of politics or whatever. Where you do what the people, what would be a popular thing with the people, but not necessarily what's, like, good for them.
You're right, yeah.
But at the same time, like, the other extreme of that is, like, do what is deliberately bad for the people to try and destroy society. Like moving 20,000 actual savages from Haiti into a town in Ohio. I don't know if anyone's heard about the fucking eating cats and shit, but they moved a bunch of migrants from Haiti, which is confirmed a shithole country, into a town in Ohio, and they have been abducting people's pets, their dogs and their cats, and eating them. Like, killing them with their bare hands and then eating them raw, like, not cooking them. Like, an actual savage. Like, there's nothing that is more, like, literally savage than killing an animal with your bare hands and eating it. Just completely raw. Just fucking, wow, you killed this. Oh, so do you already have the thing?
I guess.
I guess you kept it? Nice. Oh.
Oh, I found a dragon. Cool.
A dragon?
Yeah, found a dragon.
Okay.
I don't hear any beeps in the water, so there's that.
Digging one shovel's worth and then leaving the cameras do was all Mussolini. I don't know that much about Mussolini. I like looked at his policies or whatever, and they all seemed like pretty normal, sensible. I know he himself had a bunch of mistresses, but he had a bunch of laws about, like, you have to be in a relationship, you can't have casual sex. Like, it was criminal to be a fornicator or something. And, like, yeah, like, the sale of, like, condoms and stuff was controlled. Like, I think you needed a marriage license or something. Something like that. You can only have, like, I don't know, you can only have a certain number or something like that. I don't really know. It was, I think it was mostly just, like, have more babies for the good of the country or something. It's like their main policy. I would say something a bit more, like, casual would be more my speed, more like libertarian, but it's extreme in the right direction. So, like, it's hard to complain super much about it, because, like, right now we have the extreme opposite where they're, like, demonizing having children. So it's like...
That is a little bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, how am I going to, like, shit on Mussolini when it's like, well, right now we have a far, far worse ideology with far, far worse people in charge.
Man.
So it's like, I don't know.
They really fucked up this level, huh? I'm dying. can this be like such a small level and yet like I can't fucking get any beeps? Can't get any beepage around here.
Can't get any beepage around here.
I can't though.
What was that purple thing? Is that a Chaos Emerald?
That's just like canisters for the Chow Garden.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it was like the purple one. David Meyer says, it's okay if you want to just go just chatting for a bit. It's been a while since you last streamed. We understand, is what David Meyer says.
Huh. Honestly, if this is what every level for Knuckles is gonna be like, I don't know if I can even beat the game. This is unbearable.
Would it help if we like looked up Echidna facts and shared them with you?
That's the funny part. You can't even look up a game guide because it's random every time. Although I have heard people just like quitting out over and over again until it just ends up in easier spots.
Yeah.
It'd probably take less time.
Since you can like find it in the wall, because the first couple you found pretty easy, but
yeah,
that last one was like in some like puzzle location. Because can it be in the ceiling too?
I can't climb on the ceiling, so I assume no.
You assume no, but like part of me is like it probably can be in the ceiling, despite you not being able to climb on the ceiling.
I think you would have to dig on the ceiling in order for it to be able to do.
Like
the ceiling.
I would assume that there's at least some spawns that are not accessible. You have to dig from the other side of the wall or something stupid. Pharmacist is... oh, hey, Salem. Pharmacist says he is one of the people who should have kids. I have the right genetic traits. But you're saying you don't want to have kids? I wouldn't be able to live the way I want if I had kids? Yeah, but like, I don't know. Wouldn't it be cool to like teach your kid how to triple S rank all of the DMC missions?
Room filled with skulls and ghosts.
I remember there was a room like that, but I guess they all have some skulls and ghosts. The emerald is in the tunnel from the hints. I mean, the whole thing is a mine, so I don't know what a tunnel is. David Meyer says, you were allowed to be done with the game without beating it. Jordan says, the other caution room.
Why would they even make two that look exactly the same to begin with?
My kid would be getting those S ranks before he could walk. Yeah, I mean, doesn't that sound kind of fun? Like, maybe you don't have a girl right now, but like, I was like, so that's a life, I assume.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, like, you dug up Knuckles. Ah!
Dug up yourself.
You start fighting him. Oh no! He tries the Skinwalker. Man, it seems very precise. No, now it's further away. So it's got to be like some random spot in the water there. Right there. Now go a little further towards the wall. A little left. A little bit. One more up. Yeah, there. That's it.
Yeah?
Fuck. Okay. More to the left. Yeah. Too far to the left, obviously. No, you went too far. To the right. Oh. More towards the fire.
Yeah, just go towards the fire.
and then left. No, you're circling around. It's Yeah, go. Yeah. Well, obviously you went too far. Duh. Haven't you ever?
Find your ghost. There you go.
Oh.
To be fair, it's like flashing red in a very big area rather than being very precise.
Punch a ghost. Yeah, JB knows.
Yeah.
Or a honeydew. Hey, oh snap! The game plans are back with a flashy game. Yes, the game plans.
We have the game plan. Ooh.
You might be right. If I met the right woman and she wanted kids, I might be persuaded. But I'm a spiteful troll who isn't going to meet that woman. Yeah, but you don't have to be like that.
What if you meet a spicy troll woman?
Yeah.
Someone who meets you're crazy.
I think a lot of people who act like who act like you're describing probably don't really want to act like that. They just feel like it's the safest way to conduct yourself, because people can't make fun of you if they're afraid you're going to be mean to them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I feel like if you were really strong, like if you were so mentally strong that like someone making fun of you or requiring of you some kind of like prickly defense would be so pathetic an attempt at bothering you, you wouldn't ever need this shell. You wouldn't need the shell, you know? And I think there's plenty of like good girls out there, but also like I've talked to girls that are like perfectly pleasant and like should get a boyfriend and live happily ever after. Then I'm like, so are you like what's your plan for like meeting a dude? You got anyone in mind? Blah blah. And they're like, no, I'm just gonna like die alone. It's like, yeah, but you're like fine. You could be happily ever after with someone. Like I've met the most awful people at this school or whatever. And they're like, yeah, but no, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to find anyone, so I think I would rather just die alone. It's like, okay. So is that why guys can't find girls? Is because, like, good girls are just like, no, I'll just be a spinster. It'll be okay. Better than trying and failing. Like, girls don't pursue as much. They don't have that, like... Well, not always, but, like, a lot of times they're just, like... They would rather just suffer in a hole in the ground than, like... go out there. And then there's also a lot of people clogging up like dating sites and dating pools with just like wanting to have the attention and have people be nice to them and stuff like that. So they want the what do you call it? Can you fight that thing? Like, can you hit that chow? Is that like a fake chow or something?
No, but I did kill him.
Is it,
he's fine. Yeah.
Does that guy have it? Is there
No.
some? Oh wait, I'll go look up because the thing said up, right?
I can look up.
Can you jump? Because there's a thing flying around. Is that that bird? Is that evil? Did you kill that bird?
That's just another bird that you can collect for the Chow Garden.
Okay, that bird isn't like you can swallow it.
No.
Okay. Chat, did the bird swallow it? Everybody wants the Harley Quinn. I mean, the TV said to punch a minecart. Really?
Well, the minecart has already been punched.
Are there more minecarts?
See, there's no minecart here. I already punched it.
What's that to the right? Is that like a pile of logs, or is that...
Are we doomed?
Try digging where there's a space between the tracks.
I already did that. They're thinking that it probably is supposed to be where the minecart was, but I already punched the minecart. So maybe the game is just not that advanced to figure out what to do if you punch the minecart first. Hey, got it.
Hey.
They want you to be way too precise.
Yeah.
This
Well, to be fair, there was a long time in my life where I was like, no, I'm gonna just wanna go save the bunnies. Save bunnies. Maybe like not have kids and devote yourself to like wildlife preservation.
bunnies.
Gay. I don't know. Dating sucks, and like relationship stuff and girls is like the scariest, the hardest.
To the abyss. What a clue.
It's like the hardest thing ever, and it's the most stressful thing ever. But it is worth it, and I think everybody kind of knows it's worth it.
That's why so many people are on board with going out there and giving it a shot.
Yeah. It's hard though, and there are plenty of like awful bitches out there. I'm not like gonna be like Michael Knowles going like, oh, everyone's like fine. It's like no, everyone sucks. Not everyone. There's a lot of shitty people out there, but you also you run into an equal amount of like sort of tragic cases of girls that like, they have a hard time, but all they want is to fall in love with like a guy.
Yeah. It's the dream.
I remember there was this girl at my college for every like, and keep in mind there were more happy stories than like sad stories like this, but there was a girl who she had like a Jewish name, and like she wasn't Jewish. I forget why she had that name. Oh, I think it was like the worst reason, right? Not the worst reason, but it was the worst reason for it was the worst reason for like a liberal arts school. She had a Jewish name. She was not Jewish. Her dad was a missionary or something in Jerusalem, and I think he was a missionary for one of those faiths one of those like Christian faiths that are like very associated with like Judaism. Not the Seventh-day Adventists or something, but there's something like that. I don't know all these goddamn denominations, but it was something like that where they're like, yeah, we're like, remember how we were Jesus was a Jew, so it's like that stuff. Check out this like, I don't know, whatever. Like they blend more Jewish stuff than just like straight Christian traditions.
Sure. Okay.
So anyway, that's like the worst reason you could give for having a Jewish name at like a school. There's a lot of people that hate Jews at a liberal arts college. I don't like. There's. Yeah, I don't really remember why. Now there's like Israel and Palestine, but there was other stuff before that was like something about Jews not being big enough cucks or something. I don't really know. But whatever. So she had kind of a rough time, and then she sort of she started hanging around like the sports teams because they were like normal people, like they didn't have this like weird thing. And she was friends with me because I was like very honest and open about like, yeah, this is like this, and I didn't subscribe to the whole ideology, right? And so I would talk to her or whatever, but I had like stuff going on in my life. I was like pretty preoccupied with like stuff, so I don't know, and like it's not like I have anything in common with this girl. She's just like some normie, right? But I tried to be a helpful friend or something, but I don't know. But anyway, yeah, she was like trying to date one of the sports bros that like was a sports bro, you know, and it didn't work. And it was like kind of sad because like, can you dig while swimming?
I sure hope so.
Or do you have to like lower the water level more? But yeah, anyway, he didn't like commit, and it was like, oh, are there 2 shards you can collect? 'Cause now it's yellow. There's green higher up.
No, it yellow just means that I'm warm or closer to it.
Oh. And then it changes red later?
Yeah, when I'm really close to it.
Okay.
Up there.
Maybe.
Aha!
Oh, there you go. Woo! We did it!
We did it! We did it. Oh my god. That took way too long. I'm so sorry, guys. Rank E. Took me 3 hours. I'm so surprised people are actually liking the stream. I just wasted so much time. Hey, the Chow Labby! The best area in the game.
You mean Messianic Judaism? I have no idea. I am not very like theologically educated. As a guy, I make friends with only girls. My best friend for years used to corner me with single girls she knew, hoping.
Oh my god, this
as
is
a guy
adorable.
not looking. Girl, it's not your fault. You did nothing wrong. I don't quite understand, but I think what you're saying is like you made friends with girls, and then they were trying to set you up with friends because they know an obvious truth that you know, which is it's better to, you know, be in love than not. Kindergarten? What the fuck?
It's the Chow Kindergarten. This is a Chow lobby.
Okay.
Check it out, this is my Chow garden.
You just like threw all that stuff out there?
Yeah, it's for the Chows.
Oh, they're gonna eat them? They can eat the little like rabbits and stuff?
Yeah, you can like gene forge. Look, this is my baby. It's my baby.
Okay.
It's my baby. It's a good baby. Anyway, I guess I should play the game. Chow gardens are the best part of Sonic. Everyone knows this.
There always seems to be a lot of police around when you don't need them.
I think it did fix the audio,
Any news yet?
which is miraculous.
I'm not getting a signal from the 6 remaining Chaos Emeralds.
I butchered that in yes. Okay, well,
Outer space.
god damn it. Or Honeydews in here. It's like, let's breed some valuable chows. Fucking cattle farmers over here.
Hey guys, long time no see. I must have got lost in the mines.
Or did you forget his original
This
voice?
was tougher than I thought it would be.
I mean, it makes sense. That's like what I would imagine his voice would be. It's
Hey
just,
guys.
Move aside, Knuckles. I managed to find the transcripts between Eggman and the president in the government.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Tails. The music is too loud.
it's not important.
Once we get into the
No, they have subtitles. It's fine.
call to find Eggman.
Okay, let's meet up there.
Oh my god, they have cell phones?
Hey! Wait for me, Tails.
Advanced anime.
President must be over there. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go catch up with the president, man.
It's basically following
Oh, dude.
the whole Bible, believing that the Old Testament laws, aside from the sacrificial ones, weren't abandoned. I don't think there were sacrificial laws in the Old Testament.
Sacrificing the lambs to God?
Is that like a thing?
That was a thing. That's why Jesus sacrificed himself, is because he was like, I'm the lamb, I'm the last sacrifice.
But every single Christian denomination is like, yeah, I'm following the whole Bible, both sides, including better stuff. Even Mormonism is like that. Oh, I met a Mormon for the first time at BasedCon. Someone made some kind of like joke about Mormons. Maybe it was me. I don't know. And then he was like,
he was very casual type Mormon though.
Oh, he said he was from Utah, and I was like, oh, is there really a soda culture? And then he was like, there absolutely is, and I was like, oh shit, that's fucking super interesting. He also said it's like it works like any bar. You pay admission, and I was like, nah, that's not how bars work. I don't even drink. I know you don't pay admission. That's like strip clubs.
Yeah, or clubs.
What's the point of going to a club if there's not ladies stripping there? Is it just so you can like be a cool vampire hanging out?
It's so you can meet bitches.
I've been to a lot of clubs where the point is to be a cool vampire hanging out. So I guess that makes sense. I've never been the coolest vampire hanging out though. So, but there are people that have 100% been the coolest vampires hanging out, and I'm like, hey, I get why you come here, because you just like sit there and you're cool, and then everyone like is cool and stuff.
Whoopsie.
Like, there's no better place for like a business proposition than like a black leather couch in the middle of like a club where everybody's cool vampires hanging out.
Man, who needs Mario Kart when we have Mario Kart at home? Am I right, guys?
I'm like worried about you driving my car. I don't know if you're obeying all the. Oh yeah, you just clipped the little like. Oh.
That's alright. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
You know she
I
drives.
haven't figured out the drift button yet.
You probably should just not figure out the drift button on my car. That's. You know. Oh no.
There we go. Alright. You're doing good. I think. There's only like 3 laps I gotta do, right?
Yeah, what?
I got the present.
No, I made one several weeks ago. I got drenched at work and said, yeah, getting soaked is only fun if you're a Mormon. What the fuck? Adam, I feel like I have to ask, how many crazy bitches did you have to deal with before meeting the lady? Like, how many crazy bitches have I met in my life?
You met a lot of crazy bitches.
I've met a lot of
You've
crazy
dated a lot
bitches.
of crazy bitches. Hang on.
Yeah.
Important plot.
We have an update for you. I'm gonna suck a dick and die. Fuck you.
An emergency meeting has been called.
Um.
Mr. President, this is a national crisis.
Hell yeah, Mr. President. It's my favorite character in the whole Sonic universe.
Exactly just what is it that you want? Dr. Eggman.
Well, let's just get down to business then, shall we, Mr. President? I won't bore you with all the details since I know you are a very busy man. Mr. President, my demands are quite simple. Surrender to the Eggman Empire and make no attempts to resist. Otherwise, your country will cease to exist. You have 24 hours to give me your answer. No way! Sonic Man Empire. Yeah, right.
What the heck's going on here?
It's so cheesy.
Don't worry, Mr. President. Everything's under control. Just leave it to us. Got it, Tails?
I got it! He's transmitting from the space colony Ark.
Okay, let's move it.
Why do you have the...
Mr. President, we're receiving an incoming signal from our agent.
President has no idea what the fuck's going on.
That is like a photograph of the
Inside that
pyramid.
pyramid?
I saw Eggman go inside the pyramid. And more importantly, I saw that Batgirl go inside with him as well. Well, you saw them too, right?
Well, yeah.
Should be able to get into outer space from there. I
Oh, I got it.
I'll find and destroy that cannon.
I get the getting soaked thing now.
I'll go and find the entrance.
But yeah, apparently they have like soda bars with like different sodas that are like exclusive to these places. And you like you go to the bar and then you like drink soda and hang out instead of drinking alcohol. And like I was saying to the guys, like everybody makes fun of Mormons, but Mormons have the best numbers. They have like the highest marriage satisfaction and like lowest divorce rates and stuff. And a lot of time, whenever they do like a study on like happiness and stuff like that, Mormons usually come out like top of the list.
Does that exclude the polygamy?
I do not know. I think that polygamy is illegal, or was at least illegal in the U.S. for long enough that if these are U.S. studies, then it does not include polygamy. There are Mormon communes in different places like Mexico which have polygamy. In the United States, it is not common, but there was like that reality show. Only one of those women is actually married to the guy, and the other ones are like religiously married, but not legally married. So now they have like a main wife kind of thing with polygamy, where they're not all equal. There's like a head wife, and then there's a bunch of bitches who hate her, and she lives with them. And
that doesn't sound like he would have the best results.
Well, just like fucking imagine, right? The main wife, right? Like she gets pregnant, and then one of the other wives gets pregnant, right? And then she's like in the delivery room or something, right? And he's like, "I just want to check in. You got everything you need. You got a doctor. All right, cool. I'm gonna go over with the real wife, and you just hang tight." Like what? Like, because you can only be in one.
Have sex real quick, alright?
Well, no, like in the delivery room, like the baby is like on the way, and they're like, "Oh, let's stay with me." And it's like, "Oh, sorry, my main wife, she's
my real wife."
So anyway, later, bitch. Like, you know, there's. I don't know if you've ever. Speaking of crazy bitches, has anyone ever met girls who are like frenemies? Shit is like bloody. Like it's so when they're like hang out in the room, it's like so awkward.
Oh
like,
yeah, it's not fun.
Especially when like some girl makes some like nasty comment that's like not like she's clearly it's like a veiled insult, right? But it's barely veiled. And then it's like it's so awkward because everyone in the room knows that she's intentionally being mean, and then the girl that she's being mean with is basically the one that determines if everyone pretends that it's like cool or whatever. But then like because I've been around like what?
Come on.
Oh, quicksand. That's right. You have to think in cartoon logic. Like so there's like I was having like you always have dinner with like a big table of people at like college. Well, maybe other people don't. I don't know. My college was like that. So you end up eating with all sorts of people that you don't like necessarily know, but like people know, whatever. So like this girl like made this like super shitty comment, and like I have always been like pretty for any flaw that I might have, I've tried my hardest to be as genuine as possible most of the time. And so like someone like this girl says something nasty, and I'm like, did you just make a nasty comment because of that? Like, was that like I said something? Was that supposed to be like a secret insult? Because that didn't come out like a secret insult. You're just nasty.
Being mean.
I was like, you're just nasty. like, what do you think? I was like, what do you think? We're all like retarded? You just like, and like then people are like mad because I'm making it more awkward or something. But it's like, what am I just gonna sit here and just like let you shit down her mouth, like just like shit down her throat and be like, oopsies? Like
That's one way to put it.
it's like what? I'm not gonna like. That's so much worse. I don't want to just. What? And then I have to. But and then the other point I made was like, well, you're insulting me directly because, like, you're being nasty to someone in front of me, and then I'm like you're calling me stupid because you expect me not to like say something about it, and then I knew that one looked a little different. I didn't know.
Okay.
Oh, they didn't solve anything though. Can you shoot those?
I'm gonna shoot more.
Oh, jump and shoot. That one is different. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. And then it's also like it's your sense of honor, right? Because if you're friends with that person, you have like a certain like honor obligation to like at least say, fuck you. Like, you don't have to challenge them to a duel, but like, someone's making fun of your friend. By rights, you should at least be like, you're gay, or like, or say,
Just say stop, yeah.
Or like just voice your opinion that.
That's not cool.
Yeah, like So. But like, I can't imagine polygamy as anything but the cattiest pit of snakes you've ever fucking encountered in your life.
I think that's fair.
Weird seeing the prototype versions. Sorry, weird seeing the prototype versions of these characters. Like looking at debut Spider-Man. Oh, like the bone saw fight guy. Being stalked by a church that fixes your life to keep you donating makes people happy but leaves them as slaves to their church. It is a type of love bombing. Is that a Mormon thing? I don't think that is. That sounds like Scientology, the like having the resources to follow you and stuff. I know some Jewish denominations do that too. I want to say their naming conventions are real weird though, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. I think maybe Orthodox. Oh, what's the Hasidic Jews? They have enforcers that will tie you up and stuff. Like if you're part of the church, not like other people. There's something comical about a Hasidic Jew trying to like take you down and like interrogate you with jumper cables. It's like I learned that so in Judaism there's divorce, but you have to get a writ from the husband to remarry, and then because they're devoted to being as stereotypically Jewish as possible, they sell this.
Oh no! Man, really making this hard on me.
Poor Tails and his like.
Oh, all right, let me get that. Oh.
Sonic related injuries. Sitting for too long. Yeah, so they like sell that, and then depending on their like financial status, it'll be like a lot of money. And I took a bunch of like Jewish history classes, and he was saying like he was a rabbi, and like this one guy was like he was selling the writ for $2 million because they were all like lawyers and stuff. Like he was a lawyer, she was a lawyer, so it was like a reasonable amount for their income or something. But he was like, I gotta like, if you don't give her the writ for less money, I gotta like kick you out of the church. And he was like, I don't care. I want $2 million. So he just moved churches, or not churches, temple, whatever the fuck it's called. Oh, sure, frenemy is a common thing for women I've been around. I find it to be I find it difficult to respect girls that have frenemies, because it's like they'll explain it. It's like, isn't it like less? It's so stressful to have someone you hate. It's like, it's not stressful at all. Hatred keeps you safe. If you say you hate something and you you keep it far away from you and out of your life, it is, it's like it preserves you like salt. Like it you know, I don't find it like a very active thing to hate something. Like, I could forget about something and then remember it and be like, oh yeah, I hate that, or oh yeah, I hate that person. I forgot they existed. It's like it's a classification you put something in. You don't have to work towards hating something. If you are actively hating something and it's wasting your time, stop, right? Unless it's something you're constantly coming into contact with, you should be able to like passively hate something or someone. I think it's also like, because people will be, because when you encounter someone that's like a shitty coward or shitty like traitor, right, and then you hate them as a result, you should remember that you hated them once. You hated them for good reason. It's like, people can also change, sort of. People don't change. I think people evolve into kind of their truest form. And if someone has not quite arrived at that and they're acting shitty because they're kind of struggling with who they are or who they want to be, and then who they want to be is like a better person than they are, then, yeah, sure, like, you don't hate them, but it's not like, but still, you shouldn't, like, people forgive people because it's easier to forgive them than to, like, have some thing about it. Tip for the guys: if you tell a girl you love her, she has to check with the hierarchy to make sure no one else has feelings towards you. She may love you back, but she could still lose her standing. Oh, if someone else has... Oh, if you ask out a girl... Yeah. I've, Oh, she has to feel things out, see what her friends think about her dating you? Weakness. It just feels weak. I don't know. Maybe it's like... Polygamy is how many mother-in-laws you can handle. Oh, hey, Yeshua and Yarden.
Ayo.
Jordan's going to bed. Smart.
Wish I could go to bed.
Avoiding the... Too much Sonic to play.
Too much Sonic to do.
Yeah, avoiding the... A person with a hatred lacks personality. I agree. I think if you don't hate, you, like, don't exist. It's like...
Surely there must be something that goes against your morals that you want to destroy?
Yeah, it's just like... Not hating is as bad as not loving anything. Like, what do you not like anything in the whole world? It's like, well, like, it's the same thing. Like, how can you not dislike anything? That just means that you don't have... Yeah, I mean, I guess that's personality. Yeah, that's yeah. You do lack the personality if you just, like... If there's nothing you don't like, then it's kind of like... I'm fascinated by a lot of stuff I don't like. Like, I find stuff interesting even if I don't want to do it. Like, people who live on boats, I don't want to live on a boat, but I find it interesting. So, I don't know. Maybe that's not super related. It's like, but...
Nice.
There was a situation where this girl, like, cheated on her boyfriend, and I was like,
That's terrible.
I was like, she's a whore. And then they're like, I don't know, but, like, if I'm not friends with her, then, like, I don't know. Well, I guess something bad will happen. It's like, what if she, like, says something mean about me? It's like, well, if a whore says something mean about you, like, what are you talking about? Like, Or, like, a friend of mine was having some kind of, like, messy breakup, and he was like, oh, you know, I understand you want to, like, not get involved. And I was like, who do you think I am? Like, what the fuck? What am I, some kind of massive pussy? Like, what? I'm gonna worry about getting it. It's like, oh, because, you know, she might say stuff about it. She's like, what the fuck would, like, first of all, why would I care what about her opinions? It's like, oh no, my friend's ex-girlfriend said something mean about, what am I, what? Oh, do you land on it? Because there's a star on top? Oh. Interesting.
Yes. Oh, no.
It's like, if anything, she should be worried about me.
Oh, no.
I'll say you're gay until she dies. Just completely combust.
Ah! Fuck, man. These controls are ridiculous. It's like 90% of the difficulty that you get in these old Sonic games is just like through the crazy controls.
I remember there was this girl, I don't even know what she said, but it was like, she was one of those like girls who's like, one was like, it's one of those like black girls who like thinks that they're extra like sophisticated if they're like, if they say they're like a Muslim. Anyway, she said she was like starting shit with me, like she was like saying something, like she was, and then I like laughed at it, right? I was like, is that supposed to be like some kind of like insult or something? And then she was like, oh, believe me, like, you don't want to get into an argument, like, you know, like, oh, I could be, you don't want me to be mean, like, oh, you better watch, something like that, like, oh, better watch out. And I was like, and I remember what I said was like, listen, if I called you a stupid cunt, like, 3 times...
I got the bounce first.
I was like, I don't think you're mentally strong enough to survive me calling you a dumb cunt, like, 5 times without, like, committing suicide. So... I don't think I have a lot to worry about. It was like, I don't know. It was just such a, I don't know. Like if you can't survive someone saying you're gay like 5 times, you don't have the mental fortitude to like have a conflict with basically anyone. But,
So that's what that was for.
I don't know.
Stop, Sonic,
Oh, no.
please. Oh, God. I hope you guys see this and like, believe me when I say that I'm not crazy. This game really just wasn't... Whoa, okay. Calm down there, Sonic.
The sound of you getting stuck in the wall is like... Brrr. Oh, that's just him walking. Okay.
If you put something here? Is that what it said? Oh, this is something I can pick up. Okay.
I'll text you from my boat, lol. Oh, do you have a boat? Do you live on a boat? Are you a boat guy? Do you have a houseboat? Do you have a vlog where you go boating? Bro, I'll watch your boat vlogs of you living on your boat and talking about how your engine is broken again. Everyone who lives on a boat, their engine is always broken, and they have to and they just rebuilt it and it's broken again. Someone is selling boat people the shittiest engines, because I think every single boat channel has had at least one, I rebuilt the entire engine from scratch and it immediately broke video, and it's like, I don't know, guys. I think boat engines fucking blow. You guys are constantly having fucked up boat engines. Guys, like, I'm sailing from California to Hawaii. My boat engine broke, though. So now I'm just drifting. And, I have boat insurance. Insane that exists. But they're like, we don't pick people up that are in the middle of the ocean. So if you drift closer to shore, we'll pick you up. It's like some kind of fucked up AAA, where, like, they only take you a certain number of miles. It's like, oh, you're adrift at sea? Cool. Good that you have cell reception, but we will leave you there to die because we can't save people in the ocean. Only people that would drift to the shore anyway are the people that we can help. So anyway, lovely talking to you. Suck a dick and die. You know.
I thought I would be able to grab that if I just used the bounce bracelet.
Well, if you get in the shadow, I think. Hell yeah. Adam, make Trisha play Metal Gear Rising. I've showed her Metal Gear Rising before.
You want me to play that next, guys? We have it.
Yeah. Metal Gear Rising is, like, fun. Here's the big problem with Metal Gear Rising. You can't play as the Senator. Like, the end, you have to fight that guy, but, like, he's the best.
Yeah, right.
Like, is there a better character, like, in any video game? That guy's just... It's like, his whole character arc is amazing. And it's, like, some kind of, like, shitty critique of, like, America or something, but it's, like...
It's so badly done that you really can't take it seriously, though.
Yeah, but it's like, come on, guys. Like, you know that's, like, the optimal, like,
how
human.
does this work here?
He's, like, he kicks you like a football or something, and then he's like, I could have gone pro if I didn't join the Navy. And I was like, oh, checkbox of good at sports, went into the military. Amazing. Nanomachine, son. It's just such a high quality character.
No. I'm
But
not
yeah.
gonna make it.
But yeah, Trisha, we played like the first mission or something like that.
I don't think we played any of it.
No, we did. We did. It was a while. It was like forever ago. Right? Get House of the Dead if you have a Switch. Was that a light gun game? I wanted to have a home light gun game forever. And I know like the PlayStation 3 had one that kind of worked.
Immediately?
But like, I like the idea of like a game that's like, you know. If the sea drowns me, of course I'm going to say she's a fickle bitch. My dad has had 3 boats, and it's like throwing money at the water. Most long sea craft are required to have 2 engines, because why are they such shitty engines? It's not meant to be taken seriously. The game knows it's being silly. Yeah, they should go... I think there's a way of doing it really well, though, where you're like... You could make, like, the... Oh, can you slide?
Oh, fuck. If I can, I forget how.
Chat? Hell? It has gyroscope aiming and touchscreen shooting. I don't know if it has a gun. Gyroscope. Like, is it slow? Like, is it... When you move it around, is it, like, slow? Because a gyroscope... I've always thought that, like, gyroscope... A gyroscope in a controller, like a moving controller, would be so fucking cool. Because you you could get all this exercise by turning up the gyroscope speed because it would slow down, you know? Yeah, for a second I thought you meant that your dad had 3 boats. Oh, that you definitely clipped through, but yeah. Because if your dad had 3 boats at the same time, I'd assume he's like some kind of like admiral, like some fishing admiral. Oh, I just assumed hitting him at that speed would kill him.
Yeah, me too.
You ever just want to destroy something and just do that? Just roll into a ball and like squirt.
Oh, what does it want me to do now?
He could be a pirate with 3 boats. I know, exactly.
So cool. Got my soaps.
Man, one of those sailing channels, I like...
Oh.
I emailed them. We were gonna make him like a custom line of soap for like merch. And then he started a Patreon. Oh, so you have to like real zoom out there, huh?
I don't know how.
Maybe you have to roll under at the last second.
I was trying.
Yeah.
Just
That seems real tight.
that is really tight. It's also like it's also uphill. You know?
Would you go on a pirating adventure if someone showed up at your house saying they have 3 boats and need your help? Depends on how easy it is to be a pirate. I mean, nowadays, kinda, right? Like, they're not allowed to shoot you. Like, there's all these, like, Africans off of, like, that, like, rob boats on, like, a speedboat. And there's, like, basically no consequence for them. That Captain Phillip thing where they, like, blew his head off was, like, very surprising. Because usually it's just like, oh, yeah, we'll just do whatever they want. Oh, you can hit it! Oh, so build up speed, hit it with the roll, and then keep going. Like, roll through it.
Yeah, interesting
Yeah.
proposal. Oh.
Okay. Can you bust through it, like, boom? Okay. That's gotta be it. Oh, okay. Can you build up speed, like, further back and just, like, not even stop and just, like, boom through?
I don't know.
Can you go into, like, the mode where you're, like, a ball? Is that a thing in the 3D ones? Because it is in like,
in
the
the
new
first
one.
adventure. I don't know if it's in this one.
Can you hold on, like, the roll thing? Oh, that's it.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Alright.
So build up speed, turn to a ball, roll through that thing. Okay, yeah, but it's fine.
Alright.
It's like not the cleanest, but yeah. He had a small one. We went out twice. Then he had one. Went out once. Then he had. So what does he have a boat for like one use out of each boat before it breaks? I mean, some people live on their boat, and it's just like I don't know. There's a lot of like freedom that comes with it, right? But then also because you can go anywhere. But it's kind of like. I don't know. I see people really enjoy themselves living on a boat. So I kind of get it.
It's that baby. It's a good baby. He likes to be riding mangoes. Cherries. I don't think I have any chows born yet, though, so.
Sadly, they were all for show, but not to us. So we, as his kids, just suffered. Aww. What kind of music do you like? I like metal generally. I would say probably my favorite genre is like power metal, which is a little different from just like the rest of metal in general. But like I like power metal, and I also like new retro wave stuff a decent amount. And then there's always like random bands that have like some neat stuff, like Mum, Green Grass of Tunnel sounds nice. That's like the rest of that album is kind of like molesting my ears. But
The door's locked. We need a key to get in there.
No problem.
I think I posted it on my Instagram, but
Why do I have to find a key? We're counting on you, buddy. The world's greatest treasure hunter.
Not a Knuckles level.
okay, I was like commit seppuku immediately. On the road trip we went to BasedCon, which was awesome, might I say. On the road trip to BasedCon, we passed by this cute little town in Ohio called Gilead, and it was just like a happy little town, and we ate at like some like cafe thing, and like the food was like decent, you know. It was nice, and there was a record store, and I got some CDs. I got 2 CDs. One that I've been looking for a long time, for $15, which is like kind of steep, I guess, for an album. But it's also one of those albums that's like hard to come by. It's the Manowar one where they're all posing and they're jacked and they have the swords and stuff. That's the album that has it's like the Viking themed one. Or they're probably all Viking themed, but it was it's got Die for Metal, the like they can't stop us, let them try.
For
We're heavy metal, we will die. Like that, like they're like that's like their hit song or whatever. And then there's the other one was God, what was the other one? It was like carry we who die in battle over land and sea. I can't remember how the tune was, but that was stuck in my head like crazy after the drive. And then I got not an amazing Blind Guardian album, but I've like, because it's not the best Blind Guardian album, I never hear any high fidelity versions. So I got the actual CD, and the quality was nice. But I'm used to hearing all those songs like super bad on YouTube. But it was. I thought something terrible was going to be in the Scorpion picture. A bomb? Oh no. Oh, okay. I thought you were stuck. Like wedged in there.
Yeah, I mean,
but it was
there's something that can happen in this game.
a Twist in the Myth, I think it was called. So, it's the first time I've got albums in like a while. Trisha's got me music. Like, she got me some like anime shit. Like, she got me the Full Metal Alchemist and the Ghost in the Shell soundtrack. The Ghost in the Shell soundtrack, to give you an idea of how much care and love they put into it, they mislabeled all of the songs.
They didn't mislabel them. They like
They mistimed the track separation.
Yeah, that's
it's
it.
like, so it's like turbo fucked up. So like, if you want to listen to Lithium Flower like 7 times in a row, which I do.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is the one song that they like fucked up on the
worst.
CD.
Yeah, it's like
and it's the best one.
I think they fucked up a couple songs, but it's that song is in between like tracks. So like you have to go to a track that is like the end of a song or the middle of a song. You have to skip to the end of that song, and that song sucks, by the way. So like listening to it is like, but then it's like in the middle of the track somewhere.
Yeah.
Is Lithium Flower. So
awful.
Soldiers by Otherwise. Stream could use some metal. Powerwolf and Sabaton are more like Trisha's speed.
You know it.
Speaking of, tomorrow is the 12th, or maybe it's the 12th now. Yeah, it's the 12th now because we're post midnight. So 9/11. Yeah, like 9/11, I don't really have much to like say about it. It didn't really affect me personally super much. It just affected like everyone. Like I saw it, you know, in the kids at school and stuff. But it I got out just fine. Like my dad didn't work in the trade center. You know, I didn't. I think one of my uncles was in the city, but he was fine. But I guess I have. I have one story before I talk about the 12th. There was a girl who made some comment at my college where she was like, oh, because like 9/11 or whatever. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I actually, like ripped her a new asshole. I was like, no, you're
That's
gonna...
a good story.
I was like, you're gonna fucking listen to me. And I like told her about the bodies falling out that I saw falling off the tower as a kid. I told her about like this girl in my class, and she was like crying, and she was like, they haven't found my aunt. Is she gonna be okay? And the teacher starts crying and calls the principal, who comes in, who's getting choked up, doesn't know what to say. And it's like it was fucking rough. And then like there's apparently people born that don't remember what it was fucking like to just have New York City be a smoking ruin, like just in the distance. Like the New York City skyline is like, whenever you get high enough in New Jersey, you can see it. So you can always see the smoke. You can always see the smoke in the sky. When they light up the monument that shoots the beams into the sky, it's so relevant to me being in New Jersey because I can see it. You can see the beams in the sky when they light up those big laser beams. You can see it from wherever you are in New Jersey, just like you could see that smoke. And like I just reamed this girl out. I was like, if you think anyone is ever gonna take your point of views seriously, you're out of your fucking mind. Talking like that about 9/11. I chewed her out. So I was like, they died in there. I watched them die. You think I'm gonna listen to you be like fucking like, you know, flippant about it?
Huh. Man, you'd think that it would be by the treasure chest, but...
And she took it. She just like
what
nodded.
What was she gonna say?
She like nodded sheepishly and like apologized. And I was like, you think because people on the other side of the aisle like care about them dying that you shouldn't care? That somehow they're like some noble people for murdering all those people in that city, giving all those policemen and firefighters like lung disease? And she's like, no, I was like,
so now how the heck am I supposed to get into these rooms? Whatever puzzle they want me to solve, I don't get it.
that's flashing, right? So is there some... Can you hit things or push things into things? Is there like a cart to push? But anyway, that's the 11th. The 12th, though...
Is a joyous day.
Yeah, I didn't know the date of this battle. I knew about the battle. I didn't know what the date was until I heard the Sabaton song, which is incredibly popular, which is about the Winged Hussars. Now, there was a... For those of you who don't know, in, was it 1693 or something like that? No, that's so late in the timeline. Oh no, that's like 100 years before the founding of America. Maybe that makes sense. Anyway, it's real late in the timeline, actually. If that's actually the date. There was a siege of Vienna, which is like a city in Austria, where the Ottomans had yet again rolled through the Middle East, enslaving all the women in like whatever towns and abducting all the men, and then pressing them all into military service. They just rolled through the Middle East, just did that to every little town. Very common. That happens throughout all of their history, where they get rolled into what is called a caliphate, which is just like a big, unstable army that cannot support itself. Like, it's just like a... And I might be wrong with like the definition of a caliphate there. People might use that differently, but anyway, there is just a thing that happens all throughout like the history of the Middle East, where there's just a big, massive horde.
What is this here?
Oh, now you can bust through the thing.
Oh, now it all makes sense. Okay.
Anyway, they brought a massive army to bear. They wanted to capture Vienna in order to establish a foothold in Europe. And from there, they would try and exert Islamic influence over the rest of Europe and, convert it to Islam. And this battle, the victory at this siege where they were repelled, is like a big reason that the West still exists. Now, all the European countries are always at each other's throats, right? They're always trying to fight over this and that. Because they're so close to each other, they have all sorts of grievances. When the siege happens, it's not really anyone's business. However, there was some kind of sort of ceremonial kind of agreement that everybody came to. Like it was like the Pope pushed some kind of this like agreement where there should be some kind of barrier to going to war with other Christian countries, and so he wanted everyone to join in what was called the Holy League, which is like all Christians like banding together to be like, yeah, okay, so they're Protestants and Catholics and whatever, Orthodox, and we're all kind of the same thing a little bit, and so we should have sort of like camaraderie between each other. Oh, a secret mechanical base. Very ominous. So, can you punch those or yeah? Oh, you can. Oh shit. Okay. So anyway, massive horde attacking a city. There's a bunch of little stories from the siege, which are interesting. In any case, they call upon the Holy League, which is like pretty... it's not like a super real alliance because there's no money changing hands. It doesn't... it's sort of a quaint idea, but to actually stick your neck out and fight for the Holy League is not something that would be expected. However, Austria needs help, so they call upon the Holy League. They put this call out to Christians across Europe on their honor to defend. Can you kill him? Oh. And everybody came. Everybody showed up.
Yeah, everybody did their job.
It was kind of surprising at the time, but the King of France says like absolutely, we shall defend Christendom, and he personally leads an army. I think. Well, I don't know the specifics of who actually showed up in person, but a lot of kings were personally leading an army kind of ceremonially, like. They have generals and stuff, but they're like, yeah, I'm going to be marching at the head of the column. Like, I'm gonna lead my men to Austria. And everybody showed up. Everybody brought an army. And a lot of people showed up kind of, like, later than others, but everybody came. And it was super wild. You had, like, every king in Europe eating dinner together after the battle in, like, the Austrian capital, or in Vienna. It's just such a weird, crazy situation. There was... Before they arrived, the Ottomans were trying to dig under the city to undermine it, which is like a weird thing you can do where you can dig under a city and then either blow it up or start a fire and then bury, like kind of seal the tunnel so that the smoke will cause cracks in the foundation above because it'll go up through the dirt. And if you seal it, I don't know. Like, you can burn pigs, I think it is. Like, if you use pig fat, that's, like, very flammable, and then you light that under in a tunnel, with a certain kind of like you design that you dig up a little bit so the shaft is like kind of angled. I think that's what undermining is. But you could also just do explosives, right? But anyway, they're doing this, and these bakers are meeting in the morning to work on the dough, and they're kind of working in silence because they just woke up and it's like kind of they're tired, and they hear this like scratching beneath the floor, and they're like, "Is that mice? Oh no!" And then they're like. And then they can hear the mice are speaking Turkish. And they're like, oh no! Those aren't Turkish mice! Those are Turks! And so they rush to call the guards. And they collapse the tunnel and kill all the miners. And save the city. So after the battle, they bake for all the kings in Europe as like a reward. And that's where they invent their croissant, which is like a crescent, and then you rip it in half before you eat it, is like the tradition. That's why it's in those segmented parts. And the only king who liked it was the King of France, and that's why it's like associated with France, because he brought it back to France with him. Everybody else in Germany and whatever, they didn't want it. They were like, that's a nice idea, but this is flaky and shitty.
It's not my favorite treat.
Yeah.
I like cupcakes and pretzels.
Yeah, pretzels and donuts and everything. So, anyway, there is a Sabaton song about this battle, and specifically it is called Winged Hussars, I believe. And the big lyric from the song is, "When the Winged Hussars arrived."
Coming down the mountainside.
The Pope had the one threat to their rule, so they had to join the battle. Not really, like you can always get out of obligations. You could always be like, sorry, I'm sick. I can't send an army. You could send a tributary amount of money instead, right? You could be like, oh, here's some money for mercenaries. Good luck. But they showed up. Everyone showed up, and I think part of it is like, well, if the king of Hungary is coming, obviously I have to come. You know what I mean? So there's like this sort of like maybe a little bit of competition, but maybe this other sort of less ugly emotion if you're being a little bit less cynical about it. It's like maybe it's like this epic feeling of like, oh shit, like the boys are getting together to beat back the Muslims. Hell yeah. And then they, and then you want to show up. You want to look cool. You want to be part of history. You want to be a hero. You want to save the city of Vienna. So anyway, people show up. And especially the Polish with their winged hussars. Now, it's the Poles and the Hungarians have in their military, I believe it was a Hungarian mercenary unit that the King of Poland was like, we always hire these guys. Always. It's so expensive. Why don't we just raise our own homegrown winged hussars? And what the winged hussars are, basically, is a fast cavalry, well, fast-ish, a heavily armored cavalry that charges in with lances and then immediately retreats and picks up a new lance and then charges in again. None of this lance charge, draw a weapon, start slashing, start like fighting or dismounting or whatever. They're strictly cavalry, and they just go for those heavy charges. And so it's a very dramatic element of a battle when you have this, huge unit of unstoppable armored horsemen just smashing into formations. So they showed up, and all told, there were, I think the total number of heavy cavalry at the battle combined with all the different countries was 30,000, which is like a fucking ridiculous amount. Now those weren't all winged hussars, but some portion of them were. And they were the first ones down the hill with the winged hussars. Now why they're called winged hussars, they have these decorative wings on their back. Decorative or magic is real and it makes them go faster. Anyway, they rode these horses, which the breed has been lost. We don't know exactly the genetic makeup of the breed, but they are said to be faster than destriers, which we still have. And Destriers can run at like 30 miles per hour. And they're huge. Destriers are big horses. These guys are shorter, more squat, and better at sprinting. And so they have these sprinting horses where they're just zipping into the enemy and allegedly sprinting faster than 30 miles an hour. So whether you want to say 35, 40 maybe, a shit ton of heavy cavalry charged down the hill with lances that were like 16 feet long. Super fucking long lances, impaling like a half dozen guys with each lance. Because it's so heavy, but they're just timing the drop of the lance for when they're on their final few feet. And so they just smash through them. And then immediately turn around and go get new lances and just smash through again as other people are charging in and just doing this crazy impact. So they just ripped through the Ottoman ranks and broke the host. They just shattered the whole army. They just smashed through it like a spear and then split the army in half. And yeah, it was just a huge... I mean, there's lots of other more interesting tactical bits that happen, right, in the battle, but important, most exciting detail is just that big charge. Huge charge.
Nice.
And that was on the 12th of December. Or not December, September. And I feel like it's very sad that all we have in September is Labor Day and September 11th. And I think due for a new holiday. So we try to every year celebrate the 12th of September. And it's hard to get people together and do stuff, but maybe we'll do a stream tomorrow and like celebrate the Winged Hussars.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a game adjacent to Winged Hussar Day, but...
So there is a game, I think, where you can get Winged Hussars as a unit.
Yes.
Of
course, yes.
It's one of the Total Wars that I don't have. One of the, I think, Mountain Blade expansions or mods or something. You can have Winged Hussars. And Total War Warhammer 3 has a unit that is basically the Winged Hussars. So I was thinking maybe I would play one of those. I don't know.
Alrighty. Question also. If I quit the game here, is it gonna make me do the treasure hunting again? I assume that it saves at the Chow Garden. But
Oh my
who
God.
knows?
I got sent to to trade an Enterprise car for a van to a guy last week, but he died on the day I was supposed to meet him. Jesus, you got the craziest trainees.
King Boom Boo. That's what his name is.
Yeah, like King Boo.
Yeah. Ah! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
What are you doing?
It's the only thing I can do.
Dig. That's all I know. That was a crazy shot.
Yo.
Ah. Can you hide in the wall?
Oh, look. Wait, oh. Oh. Oh.
Oh, dig him. Dig him.
Ah,
Dig him, dig him, dig him.
I'm trying.
Dig him.
Look how far the West used to go to preserve their culture and heritage, only for the descendants to actively work to deconstruct and demoralize it. It is frustrating, Salem, but
Don't take that to mean that everything's like over or whatever. We didn't understand what was being done, and we didn't have like protections against like this suicidal ideology, and now we do. Now we get it. Now we understand how dangerous it is and how it can destroy us, and we're not going to let it.
What?
Oh, because he's the enemy. You got him. Ghosts hate
It's
this.
like 1 a.m.
We can just stop playing. It's totally fine.
I just don't know if it'll make me redo the other level. I don't think it will, but you know, games be evil sometimes. You know.
All right, dig this nerd.
They really don't make this easy.
Okay.
Okay. So I dig him and then I punch him.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm not being blackpilled. I'm just disappointed. Yeah, I'm disappointed too.
Yeah.
I remember I called people over to hang out for Winged Hussar Day a couple years ago, and we invited like some friends I don't like talk to anymore, and they were like kind of like uncomfy, like it's like this is it's just like squishy, and it's like you're just weak. I don't know. It's a good thing to celebrate. It's like that was a really inspiring moment in the history of the West, and to live in a society that teaches you to be kind of embarrassed for surviving and winning and existing, like as though existing as an entity called the West is bad, is the most fucked up shit. And it just cannot persist like this, and nobody wants it to. Like when you like tell someone like whenever I have a conversation with someone, they're kind of like downtrodden about like existence, and then I tell them some like inspiring fact about like history or something, they'd be like, oh man, I like history, oh that's so cool, and it's like, that's the history of your ancestors. It's like, you know, it's like, you know, if I'm talking to someone who's like Polish, and like that your ancestors went, you saved them.
Yes.
You saved your brothers in Austria.
You were the winged hussars.
You know, and then it's like, you know, there's something like powerful about that. And it's like they wanted to win to like preserve their culture as the West. There's something really beautiful about it, something impressive about it, and it just does something to people. Like when you like it, just, you know, you can just see how it just improves someone's life to have a little bit of inspiration and like some like cultural like grounding, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And yeah, it was nice to be around people at BasedCon that kind of understood that, and they liked good things. It's like, you know, whenever I explain concepts from my books, sometimes people are like uncomfy about them. They're like, oh, I don't know. Like Slayer in the White Valley, there's the girl is super beautiful. Like the girl that he falls for is like super, super attractive, and she's on the cover. And I told the artist, like, make her, you know, super hot. That's like, it's important to the story that she feels overwhelmingly attractive to him, and so he feels like he needs to match up to her. And her beauty and her kind of parallels her magic, where like she is so much more magically capable than him, and that is so advantageous in that society that it feels overwhelming. And then you kind of have that mirrored with her looks, because she's using her magic to make herself look prettier. And I was explaining it to a guy, and he's like, yeah, that's the thing about, like, attraction that people just don't get. It's like, when you like that girl, it feels so... It's just this huge thing, and you want to, match up to her. And it's like, it feels like you have to accomplish something crazy to do it. I don't know. There was a lot of people that were just relating to a lot of the concepts that I was, like, talking about. And then, like, when I would talk about stuff I want to do in my life, like, I want to, have kids and homeschool and live in the mountains and, like, live a happy, wholesome life, without being ashamed of my heritage. Certain people will be like, no, you can't. It's like I literally had, like I had a cousin that had, like, an outburst where she was like, no, when I said, like, I'm going to homeschool my kids. And it's just like, she's like, you can't. And it's like as though it's not possible. It's like...
right, yeah.
It's like, so everyone has to, like, be in this, like, shitty rat race, like, paying for this, like, ridiculously overpriced house and living in this shitty town and then, like, working yourself half to death so that you can afford a daycare so someone else can raise your kid. It's
yeah,
like,
well, that's, like, kind of the tragic thing about America is, like, the economy is doing terrible, and we've just, like, been fixing it with these band-aids of, oh, let's just make people work longer hours. Oh, let's just make all members of the family work.
Yeah, have the kids work sooner. And it's like...
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucked. It's fucked.
Yeah.
Like, we used to look at, like, when like, a nobleman would... Like, a noblewoman would, like, have the kid and then hand them off to the nurse. We'd be like, oh, that's, like, a shitty mother, right? We do that. We send them to daycare, where, like, a bunch of random ladies they don't know will, like, theoretically care for them.
The purpose of school being so long.
Yeah.
It's to serve as a daycare so that your parents can work longer. It didn't used to be 8 hours.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous that school is 8 hours long.
Yeah, kids don't need to be there. It's like... And it's like, oh, well, it's for socializing them. It's like, you can, like, have them go to clubs to go socialize. You can take them to activities to socialize. Like, why can't you just sign your kid up for axe throwing, archery, and sword fighting lessons? Why can't you sign your kid up to just play on the soccer team? Because you can, if you live in a town, you can just you can be on the soccer team. You don't have to be in the public school system to be part of the sports teams. Like, these activities that they actually enjoy, you could have them do and then share interests with people and get along with their peers in, like, a common interest. But, like, or Dungeons and Dragons, sign them up for a weekly game that's, like, a public game at, like, a game store. And if there isn't a public game, you could just organize one with your neighbors or at the game store. Easiest fucking thing you've ever done. You just go to the game store and be like, hey, can I put up a poster to organize a game here? By the way, you have snacks here, so they'll probably buy some, so this is good for you, and I'm going to do this for free. I organized games like that. They paid me to organize it. They paid me like $25 and gave me like a huge employee discount to, like, entice me to it was like I had like a 30 or 40% discount at the store. It's like like they want it. They want people to be in there. It's worth more than $25 to them. So they're obviously going to let you do it for free for your kids' well-being. And there's something, and like there's all these, like, parents are talking about how, like, I never got to actually talk to someone who did it, but they were talking about other parents who have their kids play Dungeons and Dragons as, like, a way of, like, educating them.
Math and
it's
stuff.
Like, what better way to teach a kid math than, like, here's a bunch of magic swords, and next time you'll choose one, and we'll see which one does the most damage. And, like, just have the damage of the sword be, like, something slightly complicated with, like, addition. It's like, oh, it'll do 1 damage plus your strength divided by 2. And it's like, oh, so it's like, it'll be like 10 strength, 1. And then the other sword does 3 times your strength modifier. And it's like, or it'll be, or you could do something really complicated by, like, it hits 10 times, and each time it hits, there's a 5% chance of, whatever. It's like, instead of 1d10, it's, or instead of 1d12, it's 3d4s. Is that better? You teach them probability and stuff, like, and then there's also, like, working with other people and, like, teamwork and stuff, and, like, planning and stuff, like, whenever I'm, like, crafting a plan with a bunch of people of how to do stuff, I'm not drawing on, like, my experiences playing soccer. I'm, like, drawing on, like, experiences, like, in a party playing Dungeons and Dragons and coming up with a plan. And, like, that's where you learn to discuss a plan. Like, other than, like, I guess, like, just in practice when you're, you know... But, like, as a kid, you're not really planning anything, like, super serious most of the time. So, you know, you're not planning at all, basically. I mean, sometimes you play, like, maybe video games, too, but, like, kind of, you know... The game speed is very high, and when game speed is high, people tend not to be able to, like, communicate or be strategic. People just kind of try and play to compensate for their team being bad. That's, like, you know, kind of how teamwork is like, can you carry? But,
I guess so.
Celebrate by making pierogies and kielbasa. Yeah.
Make some croissants.
But Adam, don't you know being a straight white male means you automatically oppress other cultures and peoples? If that's true, then they deserve it. I'm an Eastern European mutt, mostly Polish, so I'm really into this stuff. I don't know how I feel about the term mutt when people talk about their genetics. I feel like people should use something more flowery, like conflux.
Conflux.
Yeah, I'm a conflux. I'm a conjunction. I'm a nexus of Eastern Europe. You could also say you're Slavic. I mean, like, I'm intelligent enough to know what a Slav is. I barely have enough. I only have the 2 chromosomes. So I'm homeschooling requires you to have the money to hire a teacher to be as good as a public school teacher.
You don't. Public school teachers are pretty bad in of themselves. But
yeah, it's
a
super...
lot easier to teach a kid when you're one-on-one with them as opposed to teachers teaching a whole class.
Yeah.
Plus, you know, the actual test you take to get your GED is, like, super easy.
Yeah.
They mostly just need to know the basics. If anything, you'll probably be able to teach them a lot more than what they would be willing to teach you in school.
Yeah, and you can teach them much faster. And there's, like, so many teachers that didn't understand the material, and they, like, when someone asks a question, they bully the kid into not asking questions. They get mad when the kids ask questions. If you're a teacher that gets mad when kids ask questions, you suck. You're shitty. Like, you're shitty at the job. Like, the kid asking questions is how they're going to actually learn, because typically... You know, there's so many like things teachers will just like teach kids, and it does make it, like, I mean, the biggest example I always think of. I grew up in a blue state, and so I don't know how it is in like other blue states, but there was a shit ton of Italian. It was 100% of my class was Italian. There was no one that wasn't Italian in the class. I'm Italian plus like German, right? So it's like but everybody was at least Italian, and there's. Italians are by blood super based. Like, they just genetically are super based. They're a problematic.
It's because they feel as though they're allowed to be proud of their culture, and they've just never budged. Like, people would want to make them try to feel bad about being Italian or whatever, and they just wouldn't budge. They'd just be like, no, fuck you.
So anyway, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're 100% right. You are allowed to be proud of just, like, being Italian, yeah. So anyway, everybody's like vaguely based in my class, and the teacher's like, "Oh, the Spanish were the bad guys," and then the whole class is like, "Yeah, but they were cutting people's hearts out." It's like, but that was like their culture. And it's like, yeah, well, they had a shitty culture, so we killed them all. Like, what are you talking about? Like, they you know, it's like, and then you know, and the teacher, because they have the curriculum, they have to teach, which is like vaguely true, right? And so the kids are like, yeah, but they wanted to cut people's hearts out. And it's like, yeah, but like, you know, how do you know they didn't want to have their hearts ripped out? It was like, I had a lot of teachers claim that it was their choice to have their own hearts ripped out. That is like,
what?
And like some teachers would say, oh, they'd have a game, and whoever wins the game gets to have their heart ripped out.
Yay!
And it's like, kids would be
You
like,
hear
I
that,
would want.
girls? It's okay to be in an abusive relationship so long as you want to be in it.
And yeah, and like there would be a kid who would be like, I wouldn't want to have my heart ripped out. It's like they're just stupid. Why would they want their heart to be ripped out? And the teacher would be like, no, it's not nice. That's culturally insensitive. And then the teacher would be like, well, they just wanted money. That's why they were going to the new world. And it's like, so? Well, I think when someone's an evil freak, you can kill them and take their stuff. That's like usually how that works. It's like the fucking like the priests, like the Aztec is the term for the whole empire, but that central controlling faction, they were like super psycho, and most of them don't exist. Like most of them didn't live through it, right? Because there was a giant purge. Like they got murdered. Like the people that are like Mexican now, they don't have like. It's very unlikely that they're one of the surviving evil Aztecs. They're probably the ones who won the war. It's usually who continues on their genetics. The winners, not like the people who lost. And it's like, yeah, Spain was like leading them, but like most of the army was made up of like it's the people like, oh, the Spanish killed us. And it's like no. You won first of all, and you were killing psychos. So like don't.
Yeah, cut this tie that you have with the one psychotic.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
But like you hear all this like stupid, gay like just completely fake nonsense in school, and it's like, where I was, people were like, oh well, teachers are retarded, whatever. But other places, kids could just like take the teachers at face value and be like, oh yeah, I guess that's just true, and then you end up with California existing because it's just like weak people or like weak kids who don't know that they should be proud of who they are.
Yeah, it shocks no one to hear that you do not learn critical thinking in school.
Yeah.
It's very much the opposite. Teacher just wants you to sit down and shut up and take everything they say as pure fact.
Yeah, and like the more questions you ask, the more mad they get.
Yeah.
And then if you know about a subject, the teacher is typically gonna not. Like, they're going to be mad.
They're going to be infuriated.
And in fact, like, there were teachers that would be angry if you, like, researched ahead of time. Prepared for the lesson. For the lesson. Like,
or if
they'd
you
be
read
mad.
any other history book besides the one that they assigned you,
Yeah.
they'd get really upset, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, as it turns out, not all historians agree with each other.
Yeah. I will say, like, briefly at like BaseCon, I did hear some really retarded historical facts.
Yeah.
Like they were egregiously retarded. That's gonna have to wait till next time because they were pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty late. It's
too
already
late.
1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, Trisha has to get to sleep because Trisha sleeps at normal people times.
Yeah, I got work.
Kind of weird. Slavs weren't allowed to be proud until a certain very big Slavic country invaded another one recently.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Just don't point out that both sides are Slavs. That'll confuse people. We should be teaching... Isn't it, like, a while that we're on the timeline where, like, the leftists are pro, like, Nazi? Because like, the, a lot of the Ukrainian, the Ukrainian special forces are all, like, literal neo-Nazis, right? Because they're, like, post-Nazi, like, neo...
Russia doesn't have any neo-Nazis?
They do.
Okay.
Well, no, but they don't have like an organized military force of Nazis. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like they just have a lot of like just people in Russia are just like, oh yeah, Hitler was cool, but like they don't have like the what are they called, the Azov battalion. They're all like all of their iconography is all like Nazi stuff. A lot of them, their parents fought the Soviets. With the Germans, so, and then a lot of them like, a lot of people suffered for that, like because Ukraine sided with Germany, and then post-war, like the Allies fucked over Ukraine, which is something that like people don't really. It's in like it shows up occasionally in things like GoldenEye. They mention it. That's the villain in GoldenEye is Ukrainian. He was they call him a Cossack to try and make it like more confusing, like so like people don't
really
but yeah it's they're talking about Ukrainians that were handed over to the Russians and like tortured to death because of siding with the Nazis, but like so So anyway, that's where like the Nazi iconography comes from. It's from the idea of it being very opposite to Russia, because that was like their big enemy.
That is interesting, yeah.
That, by the way, kicked the shit out of them. Like, having to retreat all the way across your entire country to your capital and then only being able to advance once, like, 5 different countries goes to war with your enemy and surrounds them from all sides isn't exactly, like, an outstanding victory. There's all these, like, commies that will, like, cope and be like, oh, well, the Russians really won. That. First of all, if you go to your own town and then burn it to the ground and then, like, assault all the people in the town and like press the children into military service on your retreat, you didn't win. What? Like, what? Anyway,
thank you everyone for joining us on another fantastic game fan stream. We'll have to do another one of these real soon.
and good job being proud of being a Slav, Salem. It is good. You should be proud.
I bet Gergie's proud of being a dog.
Yeah, Gergie's... Be like Gergie. Look at this guy.
Look at
Oh, you
that
can't even
little guy.
see him. He's just...
He's mop.
He's just a mop for you guys. He's cute, though, I swear.
And wait. Ooh. There he is. He's a mop.
This is his face.
Good face.
You know, look at the camera. This is eye. He's an eye over here.
Aww.
That's nice. And this is a nose. It's a boop. Boop. This is a paw.
He's so relaxed.
Oh, shut the spot. Shut the spot.
Alright, guys. We'll see you next time. Until then, good night, everybody.
Good night.